Wild Yinzers kicking through the door, loud like a jag-off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Dum Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the bug with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two dumb Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the show. That's right, this is episode 945. I want to say to everybody today, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back. I got sound. I got to figure out where the sound is coming from.
Oh, Ryan, we'll get that figured out here very shortly. What up, everyone? Welcome back to the Two Dum Yinzers. Man, draft is just a few days away, man. It's getting here closer and closer every day of the week, man. We're happy to be back here today, everyone, man. Just rocking and rolling, baby.
I'm back. All right, let's get this thing rolling. We got a brand new week, brand new everything, guys. It's Monday. We're just 10 days away from the NFL draft. So much going on, so much to get into. I want to say to everybody today, welcome back to the show. We did get that situation fixed. Mike, I'm going to start on the board bright and early today. We got a lot of stuff to get into. You can't hold me back. Do not even try to hold me back. Let's get on the board. Ty, my man, Tyrone in the house. Always great seeing Ty. He says the JPJ's the MF and GOAT. That's right. And you know what? We're going to talk a little bit about JPJ today. We'll get into that and so much more as we go. Brian Pasquale, what's up, homie? Always great seeing Brian. He says working in Beaver Falls currently. Ready for the show just right across the river. Hope all is going well for you, Mr. Brian. Tortilla all the way from Sacramento, California. He says, howdy, fam. Always great seeing the great Tortilla Jackson on the terrible board.
Yeah.
Botrix in the house, successfully joined the channel. Derpy will be here in just a few moments. Glad to see everybody today. Welcome back. Yeah, it's Monday. We had nice weather. It's starting to feel a little bit like spring outside. I can't complain. Mike, I can't complain.
Neither can I, man. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. Beautiful day to talk Pittsburgh sports, baby.
Absolutely. Let me grab a couple of these messages as they're coming in. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to go to Robert. Always great seeing Robert Kirkpatrick. I'm sorry, Kirkpatrick on the board. He says, hello, Yinzers. Always great seeing you, Robert. Glad that you're here today. Also, RB had a little bit of an incident over the weekend. He says, I was going to try and jump on today, but sorry for my absence lately. I had a bungee cord break on me last week and smacked me in the mouth and broke 3 teeth out and knocked another one out. Jeez, oh
Ouch.
man. Jeez, oh man. I hope you get. I don't even know what to say. I hope you feel better, dude.
That sucks, dude. Like I'm just thinking about like, oh god, chipped teeth. That shit ain't fun.
I had you remember those keychains that people used to carry around for a while? You could swing in your hand. It's like you wear it around your neck.
Yeah.
You know the type I'm talking about? And it kind of had elasticity to it. It wasn't just like the cloth. And we were down at we were watching a band one time, and they were giving out free Jägermeister keychains, and they were bungee like that. And I was in the, I think I might have even told this, but I was in the mosh pit, and it got stuck around this black guy's elbow, and he pulled his arm to get it off him, and that fucking thing shot back. The middle piece of the keychain shot back up, hit me right in my fucking lip, dude. My lip was like this almost instantly, and I luckily I didn't break any teeth out, but we feel for you, RB. That's terrible, man. I do want to say, everybody, welcome to Derpy in the house. Derpy. What's going on, man?
What's good? Can you hear me?
You're looking good. You
looking good, Derpy. What up, brother?
We hear you. We see you. All is good.
How are we, gentlemen?
We're good, man. We're good. We're kicking off a brand new week. We're only 10 days away from the NFL draft, if you can believe that. So much stuff to get into today as we work our way there. It's going to be here quick, and we have a lot of figuring out to do on our end. I know over the weekend people are scrambling to try to figure out what their plans are for the draft. We're going to get into all that and so much more today. Cody says, RB, that's hilarious. Ty says, Green, only quarterback I would take. And Ty also says, Derpy. Welcome, everybody. Let's get into a few things, as this was the 412 weekend, of course, yesterday, April 12th. Everybody here in the Berg celebrating 412 Day. It could have been a little bit better for our sports teams over the weekend, but we're not going to complain, as the Pirates, they do win the series over the Cubs. However, they dropped game 3 of the series to only win 2-1. Pirates are first place in their division, have the third best record in all of the major league. And as a matter of fact, they have a better record than every single team in the American League, if you can believe that.
No way.
Yeah.
Damn.
Pittsburgh Pirates, they win the series 2-1. They're now sitting at 9-6. Their next series starts tomorrow. It's a 4-game set starting with the Washington Nationals. That's a 6:40 start, game 1 of 4 tomorrow. The Pirates also, Mike, not only better than all the teams in the AL, the third best record overall in the majors. And O'Neal Cruz, Mike, hitting .339, 5 home runs, 13 RBIs, 11 runs scored, and 6 stolen bases already. O'Neal Cruz is primed to have a big season, Mike, already off to a good start, just 15 games in. And he started off rough, if you remember, a lot of fielding errors in the first game of the year, allowing Paul Skeens to give a bunch of runs in that first game. But they're tightening the ship again. First place. Nobody's even sharing it in the division with the Pirates, as they sit atop the division.
Like, who would have thought, the Buccos this early being this good? Hopefully this isn't like a false promise of their season. Hopefully they can keep this going. Yeah, there's going to be ebbs and flows like there is every year, but maybe the Buccos might have it this year. To be a really good competitive ball club. Get a couple guys figured out, Ozuna, and hopefully he can get his things worked out, and hopefully O'Neal Cruz can keep it going, because I'm not 100% sold on O'Neal Cruz. We've seen this from him, have great stretches, then stretches of why we're frustrated with Cruz. But right now, things are looking good for O'Neal Cruz.
And I got to also say this. I mean, the Ozuna deal is looking more like a disaster every day. He's sitting there with a .051 batting average.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mike, the player that he replaced, the old Andrew McCutchen in just 9 games for the Texas Rangers is batting .286, has a home run, has 4 RBIs in just 9 games, .286. He's batting. Mike, he's too old. We got to get rid of him and bring in Ozuna, who again, Mike, is batting .051.
Yeah. The thing that gives me hope with Ozuna, this happened to him like 2 years ago. I think he started off really, really bad, then ended up with like 100 RBIs and 40 home runs. So yeah, it's a track record of starting slow and turning it on. So if he can bat out of this, things will be looking good.
I'm seeing just the past couple of years, his numbers certainly been down. They're saying that he might be past his prime. It's hard to say, but we will certainly keep an eye on that as the Buccos have the day off. after winning the series in Chicago over the weekend. Pittsburgh Penguins, Mike, they dropped 2 games over the weekend, both to the Washington Capitals. On Saturday, it was the 100th game between Alexander Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby. The Penguins lose that game 6-3. Yesterday, they sat everybody. They lose that game 3-0. The Penguins are 41-24-16 with just 1 game left on their schedule. That's against the St. Louis Blues in St. Louis tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. It's the last game of the year.
The last game of the year, they're getting some guys some rest, playing some guys one day, giving them off the next. They're getting ready for the playoffs. They want everyone to be in and healthy and ready to go. I can't wait for the playoffs to actually start. The intensity is going to ramp up. You can tell these last couple games, it meant a lot for the Capitals. It didn't mean anything for the Penguins. So hopefully, just get the guys healthy and ready to roll in that first round, baby. And if we can get out of that first round, man, this team is dangerous.
And then finally, Mike, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Again, Sunday was not good for the Pittsburgh squads. Of course, our soccer team, Mike, they lose to Birmingham Legion 1-0 yesterday in that game. They'll be back at it on Wednesday at 7:30 for the U.S. Open Cup round of 32, where they'll be playing at the New York Red Bulls.
Let's go.
And finally, this is the UFL, Mike. The UFL wraps up week 3. Orlando, they beat St. Louis 29-27. DC beats Houston 45-7. That's on Saturday, Mike. The Sunday games. This is interesting because Columbus's head coach Ted Ginn Jr.
gets
a DUI, which allowed Todd Haley to play head coach for the day. They didn't have much luck with that. They lose to Dallas 28-23, but Ted Ginn Jr., the head coach, out after a DUI, and Todd Haley took over at the helm, Mike. As I'm looking at teams and I'm trying to build teams, I look at one guy who had a pretty successful run with a team that won a Super Bowl, and then the other guy was a fair wide receiver. How did the fair wide receiver get a head coaching job over the guy that actually has the coaching experience?
Right. And, hey, man, this is just a great representation of OSU character, man. Getting arrested for DUI. I would expect that out of Todd Haley. My man likes to have a good time. Ted Ginn Jr., man, it's a fine representation of Ohio State, right, Derpy?
No, he wasn't a champion.
I didn't even realize he was from Ohio State.
Yeah, he was from Ohio State, and Derpy only likes the good players from Ohio State.
I believe he went to Cleveland Glenville.
Oh, that makes sense.
But his dad's in charge of him now.
And then finally, Mike and Derpy, they will. The last game of the weekend was also last night. It was a Sunday game. St. Louis, the Battlehawks, they beat Birmingham 34-30. Kicks off on Thursday this week. UFL football goes Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 1 game on each of the days. So that's how week 4 plays out with the UFL. Mike, the season just flowing right along. And I'm going to be honest with you, we're at 10 days, if you can believe that, till the NFL draft. Yeah. So much more planning and things for us to do here at the show. It's we have 6-7 people, and they're all going different directions all at the same time, but they all want to be involved. So it's trying to figure all this out isn't easy. But we're going to get it. We're going to get it as we were just 10 days away. With work and travel, and there's a lot of work that's being put into it. We're certainly on top of that as, again, we were just 10 days out, if you can believe that, guys. And finally, Mike, Pittsburgh this week and next week, the next 10 days, next to 10 to 12 days is going to be referred to Pittsburgh. As some people do call it Pittsburgh anyway.
Yep.
Here in Western PA, Mike. This week, Pittsburgh, the next 12 days, it'll be considered Pittsburgh. Again, like the NFL draft, the biggest event ever in Pittsburgh history will be in town. The stage is looking good down at the stadium. The FBI, they're at work with all the protection situations. A lot of things going on as they expect lots and lots and lots of people down on the North Shore this next week.
Yeah, I can't wait. The closer it gets, the excitement is building and building. It's going to be a raucous fun time. I can't wait for this draft.
Besides the traffic, Mike. Besides the traffic.
Oh, the traffic is the best part. Pittsburgh traffic is great. It's going to add a whole new layer of entertainment.
That's fair.
Let's get back on the board. I don't want to get far behind today. Today is Monday. We got a lot of things to get into. Let's go right about here at Just Learning. What's up, Just Learning? Always great seeing you, sir. He says Rogers has a fake wife. He did come out and say that she doesn't want to have anything. She doesn't want to have anything to do with the public, so or deal with that. So who knows? She might be fake.
At least he doesn't have a voodoo wife like a certain quarterback
Who's that?
that we hate. Brady.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's go right here to Mark Caboli. Mark Caboli on the board today. He says, I thought you somehow had me on today, but it's just the fruit of my loins. Hello, son. I miss you.
Derpy, you're not going to say hi to your dad.
Hello, Mark.
Derpy.
Also, let's go to right here. Ty says, I'm ready for A-Rod to sign. And you know what? Speaking of the last message, Mr. Caboli seems to think that that's going to happen next week. So we'll get into that and so much more. Let's go to Cody. Cody says, Derpy not showing any PTSD signs from last time. Good for you, buddy.
I appreciate that.
Tortilla says, Mark Caboli was found passed out at a dairy farm. Brian says, Pirates play today. Oh, for real? I thought they were off today and start tomorrow, but I could be very wrong. And he says 6:40 start. Did they play Monday?
I'm just saying it is Monday.
Well, that part I'm aware of. The part if they play today is the part I'm confused on.
I'm double checking, Ryan. Don't worry.
But they do. Paul Skeens does throw game 1. Mitch Keller does throw game 2, and Carmen Majewski pitches game 3.
Yeah.
Today?
Tonight. Yep, 6:40.
Even better. I thought I was going to have to go through today with no Pirates. So Paul Skeens tonight, don't forget to check that out as the Pirates start a 4-game set against the Washington Nationals. And now that you say that, it makes sense because if you start a 4-day on Tuesday, that kind of F's up the weekend. So you know what? Thank you, Brian. Cody says this. Ohio State has Arthur Smith. Always got to keep Derpy and keep reminding Derpy of that. Also, Cody says Derpy likes Arthur Smith.
Derpy.
Cody also says this.
I guess you could say the same thing with Mike McCarthy, right?
What's that?
I guess you could say it. I like Mike McCarthy too. I'm being sarcastic.
Cody says, and soon to be top wide receiver for OSU, John Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to Cody again. Cody says this. Just kidding. Arthur Smith doesn't pass to tight ends. He just likes them. The thought of having them on the team. Isn't that the truth?
That's fair.
Isn't that the truth? Just Learning says Haley said Howard was a 6-rounder for a reason.
Haley sucked.
And Caboli, he
so
says
sucks.
Caboli also says this. He says, I did pass out at the dairy farm. It's true. Your mom was all the way at the back fence, and I'm out of shape. It was too much to walk for me. She desperately needs a milk aid. Lots to get into today, guys. I don't know. Where do we want to start? How you doing, Derpy? Did you have a good weekend?
I had a great weekend, man.
Good. It looks like I'm going to the draft.
How about yourselves, guys?
Oh, it looks like I'm going to the draft with Derpy. That's the way it's playing out right now. And it looks like I don't know. Again, it's going to come down to the 3 days, and we're trying to figure out what days we want to stream and which days we're going to be able to get down there. And Finch is going to be coming back from Vegas, so that's something that's going on. And Chop's going to be down there, and Derpy's trying to figure out a way. So there's a whole bunch of brain work going into this, and I got to be honest with you. Not a lot of brains, but a lot of brain work going into this. We're going to get it figured out. We will. But it looks like it's going to be me and Derpy sharing a seat on the bus.
Who's sitting in whose lap?
Well, it's kind of breaking down to we're going to be parking at a bus place in Moon Township and then trucking down to the city so we don't have to deal with the traffic in the city. So it's going to be a whole thing. But Derpy, I tell you what, he's got it all figured out. All weekend long, he's shooting me texts. Hey, this is how much these tickets are. This is how much this is. So Derpy's been being a lot of help in that sense. And the draft, guys, just 10 days away. So much going on leading up to this draft. We're going to have RB in later on in the week. Of course, you did hear on the board that he did. He broke his tooth with a bungee over the weekend. That sucks, man. Broke a few teeth, as a matter of fact. He said, we hope the best for RB in his recovery. And then I do know with RB's work schedule, it's tough. So again, a lot of planning still going into it. We're gonna have representation down there. I promise you that. We're still figuring out the ways and the hows and the whats and the who's and the whens, but we get it. We get it.
We get it. I'll be live streaming.
And that's the thing I'm trying to figure out. Do we want to do it? Do we want to live stream Thursday and Friday? Do we want to live stream just Thursday, just Friday? Saturday is Finch when Finch is coming back. I mean, there's just so many different things to put into this.
Different things, but I'll definitely be streaming the first round. If I have to run solo, I run solo, baby.
I mean, again, I want to get everybody involved, and I'm just trying to look at the way that everybody can be involved, and that's the challenge. And everybody can be involved. It just all falls in different times and days and slots. So let's get back on the board for a couple here. I'm going to go to Ty. Ty says Cooper Jr., Lemon, Tyson, my top 3 wide receivers first round. Tortilla says breaking news. Tortilla's mom signed a 1-year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers per Mac Caboli and cheese. Cody says this. He says any quarterback in this draft can do what Rodgers did last year: check down screen passes, jet sweeps, and throw behind the line of scrimmage.
That's probably true.
Mark Caboli says this. Derpy Tortilla's mom said you can stay with us over the draft. Come meet your new stepmom. There you go.
Do we want Derpy around a stepmom?
I don't know.
I'm afraid what would happen.
Derpy's the Zach Wilson of the
Derpy.
the crew.
He is. He's the MILF hunter.
Mark Malone says another great idea would be riding a legal dirt bike down there. Tortilla says Caboli slept on the couch last night because he ate all of my Fruit Loops.
Fruit roll-ups.
Fruit roll-ups. Also, Christopher's always great seeing Christopher's in the house. He says, hey, fellas, Omar Khan crushed free agency and he will crush this draft. Our Steelers are better now than last year with the addition we got in free agency. I couldn't agree more. I got a pretty good feeling about this squad. And you know what? I think the world is starting to see the just around the country, because one thing that I've noticed is as we started being a little bit more confident and comfortable and optimistic about our Steelers, I noticed Tater Tart hasn't been stopping in as much. So,
right.
He likes to come in and give us hell and give us some shit. And, things have been looking good. So Mark Caboli says this, that wasn't a fruit roll-up. It was your mom's labia. I'm sorry. It just looked like a fruit roll-up. Normally, I pretend it's a beef sandwich, and I lather it up with Arby's sauce and horseradish.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
Cody says Aaron Rodgers sucks, and then Mark Malone says Derpy uses fruit roll-ups like dental dams on Aunt Peaches.
Oh.
Derpy.
Glad to see everybody today. Welcome back to the show. Getting ready for the draft in Pittsburgh, PA. Just 10 days away from right now. 10 days away. 2 weeks from today, like the draft will be over. We'll be on the Monday after the draft, wrapping it all up, trying to figure out what we got. So much in the next 2 weeks is going to play out. And this is some of the speculation from Caboli. He did say, Mike, because they do have those few days next week prior to the draft. Of voluntary workouts. I think it's voluntary. They will be having a 3-day voluntary workout next week leading up to the draft. And Mark Caboli seems to think that this is when Aaron Rodgers is going to show up. He will be there next week for that. However, a lot of people, Mike, that are disagreeing with him are saying, why would Aaron Rodgers show up for the voluntary workouts this early? It just doesn't seem very Rodgers-like, in a way, if you will. Mike, but that is what the scoop is of late from the fat man in the Berg, Mike. He is saying that he expects his new prediction. His new prediction is going to be he will be here next week in the voluntary workout.
Why would he be here next week if voluntary workout if he has not signed a contract? So is he predicting that contract is going to be signed and he's going to show up for the voluntary workout? Like, I don't see him showing up until after the draft. I can see him signing the contract and show up after the draft when everyone's here, when all the rookies are here, and the whole team will be assembled. I can see that, but I can't see him coming to the voluntary camps, especially with no contract being signed, and I just don't see it.
It's all things considered. Maybe that means he's going to get the contract figured out sometime in the meantime.
Yeah.
But that's the speculation as of now. I wouldn't hold my breath on it, to be honest with you. But
Me
again,
either.
at the end of the day, just to know within the organization, again, if they know, then they could certainly enter the draft with that in mind and be able to handle things accordingly. And I do want to say, speaking of the devil, there's Tater Tard. Tater Tard
There's
is
Tater
on the
Tard.
board.
Ugh.
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 Good evening to Tater Tard as he is across the pond over in Ireland. A self-loathing Browns fan, an Irish self-loathing Browns fan. Tater Tard, I guess it's all right. I guess it's good seeing you. Hope things are well for you, Tater. Let me grab a few more of these messages on the board before we do scoot forward here. I'm going to go to right here where Tortilla says Kabuli will eat anything. I saw him licking the window this morning. Dude's in the house. Always great seeing Dude. He says, afternoon, fellas. What's up, Dude? My man. Let's see. Tyrone says this. Glad to see you guys. Weekend went by fast. Well, good, man. I'm glad the weekend went fast for you. And can you believe it, Mike? And again, it was like, when they put that clock up down Pittsburgh, it was like 250 days till the NFL draft. Now it's almost down to single digits. It's going to be 9 after tonight, and 9 single digits. If you can believe 9, just 9 days.
9 days away. It cannot get here soon enough. I'm just salivating at the mouth for this draft to get here. I'm tired of the speculation. I need the draft here. I need to know what we are going to do. I want it all now.
Absolutely. Right here in Pittsburgh.
Baby.
If there was ever an appropriate time to call it Pittsburgh, this is it. And this will be the time that you don't hear people calling it Pittsburgh, as you generally do in everyday life. Let's go to right here where Kira OMG says hi. Always great seeing new faces, new names.
Hello.
Kira. Hello. Steel Loyal also welcome back to the board in the show. Steel Loyal, he says this week is going to drag by. Tyrone says loyal facts, shake my head. Also Cody says this. Kabuli says the NFL will have a draft within the next 6 to 30 days.
That does sound like something Kabuli would say.
Tortilla says, funny enough, Kabuli's tits are bigger than my mom's. Cody says Tater is Kabuli's taint. Tyrone says breaking news: Browns paying 6 quarterbacks. Yeah, and they really want to give Deshaun Watson's going to be involved somehow. I don't know how. And again, like they draft 2 quarterbacks last year. Just a crazy team up there.
Wouldn't be surprised if they draft another this year.
I wouldn't either. And maybe we're just trolling them and saying, you know what, we really like Ty Simpson and the Browns. They run on. We got to get Ty Simpson. The Steelers want him. I think we're just trolling them at this point.
If they go and they draft Ty Simpson in the first round, I will laugh so hard. They are the team to do it. They are the team to just keep making blunder after blunder.
They'll draft Ty Simpson, then they'll start Deshaun Watson, and then they'll pull Watson and replace him with Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
And then Shador Sanders will get in, and the whole entire Cleveland will go crazy over that, and then something will happen, and it's just always a disaster up there. Right here to Kabuli says, guilty. I was licking the push juice off the window after I made your mom squirt all over the place. It was like the summer of '95, and that super soaker with the back was released. Boy, the memories, Kabuli says. Steel Loyal says Browns or Jets. Tortilla says this. Ty Simpson's going to be on John Gruden's quarterback class tonight. Cody says this. The Browns and the Jets are the same team.
Yeah,
you're not wrong.
Right.
Like, that is a spot on assessment. There are 2 organizations that you count on to continually fuck up. It is those 2, and they each have every once in a while have a good season. Everyone gets the false hope, and then they fall back down to reality.
I disagree. I think that the Browns would have messed up Joe Namath. I don't think that the Browns would have ever got a championship, as they don't have a championship, and even they can't pull off what the Jets did and have a miracle season. The Browns are just, come on, they would have messed up Joe Namath. I could promise you that. So for that reason, I say that they're not equal. until the Browns even get anywhere near a Super Bowl, I don't even think you could have that conversation because at the end of the day, that was one of the bigger upsets ever, Mike. They upset Johnny
Yeah.
Unitas, the heavily favored Baltimore Colts in that Super Bowl. So before we start lumping those teams together, you got to think of them things.
You got to. But in recent memory, I'll give you that overall franchise. Yes, recent memory, recent history. I agree with Tortilla, but overall, I agree with you as well. You know what I'm trying to say. You
I don't know.
have merits.
Yeah, man.
Yemen.
Let's go right here. He says, I'm going to go to Steel Loyal. He says, I'm going to watch it. He's going to watch it. Also, tortillas should be fun. Let's go right here to Jello. Hey, what's up, Jello Donut? Great having you back. Great seeing you on a terrible board. Jello Donut says this. What kind of cam is Derpy using? He looks like a foggy character. He's not foggy. He's shady.
It's bad lighting today.
Today.
Today? What is the excuse every other day?
Eh,
That's fair.
It's like Derpy disappears in the crowd in the background.
He's like the Homer
there's
Simpson
a window
meme.
behind me today, so like there's bad lighting.
Gotcha.
So you can see it in the background a little bit.
Always an excuse with the Derpster. Just
Let's
throwing
go.
that out there.
Let's go to Steel Loyal. He says, that's not a camera. That's the spirit of Derpy.
Derpy.
Let's go right here. Tater says, make sure and get your vaccines before visiting the draft. Get no vaccines. Tortilla says, Kaboli, want to roll you with a dab of ranch. Mr. Mills, he says, rumor better involve someone weighing 300 pounds. Let's go to Cody. He says, no, I mean like the organization and the team changes jerseys between games. Ty says, I'd rather poke pins in my eyes than watch Ty Simpson anything. That's pretty good. I like that.
Yep.
Cody says, haven't you ever wondered why the Browns and Jets are never on at the same time?
Bingo.
Are you maybe suggesting that they're the same exact team, I guess? Ty says, this Tater, make sure you throw the fish back in the water because I went to that game. Cody says Ty Simpson throws precision passes. Cody follows it up by saying Ty Simpson great in the pocket. Christopher says, guys, it's beautiful and cool here in Miami Beach, but you Yinzers got me jealous for the draft up there. And finally, Steel Loyal says, Cody, is Ty Simpson in your pocket? Yes, Christopher. And it's beautiful here as well. I got to be honest with you. The weekend was wonderful. And I'm sure it's cooling down for a couple days, but here in about 10 days when the draft is here, it's going to be pretty nice. And you know what? I wouldn't be too jealous because, again, jamming 800,000 people into the Point State Park and also onto the North Shore. It's going to be interesting to say the least. So we'll do our best to keep everybody as updated as we possibly can through the whole draft process. That's the goal. But again, Christopher, if you think about it, if you're in town for a Steeler game and there's 60,000 people filling up the stadium, it's pretty jam-packed down on the North Shore. 60,000 people. There's going to be 800,000 people. So I wouldn't envy us too much. However, it is really cool. And I guess something that you might only be a one-time event, but they're saying if things go well, Mike, they could be coming back within the next 6 to 8 years, apparently.
Like, I hope it does go well, and if it does come back, keep it in a cycle because they got the cycle, the teams that get the Super Bowl every so many years. You got to give something to these teams and franchises that are historical franchises in the NFL. Like, you can't write the history of the NFL without them. You have to give them something. And I think rotating the draft and having that handful of teams would be the way to do it, and hopefully we can end up on that list.
Absolutely. Let's go right here to Tortilla. Tortilla says Ty Simpson should eat a hot pocket.
Hot pocket.
Jelly Donut says this. He says Ty Simpson's average defensive rank that he had to face was average at best. Indiana showed how average he was in a big game. Cody says Ty Simpson is better than Fernando Mendoza. You know what? And the reason that I just don't think either one of them are that great. If you're trying to build your franchise, and let's just say Mendoza is, how often do you see a guy go to a team like that and look good in the first year or two? The Raiders are getting a lot of pieces, but you know what? So are we. And at the end of the day, it's tough. It's tough to win in football. A lot of things have to happen. But let's see. We'll see. Again, Mike, just not thrilled with either one of these. And I think, the Steelers and the way this is playing out and the way that all the talk is pointing till next season is really showing us that this year's draft class is nothing to write home about.
It's not, especially for the quarterbacks. And just like looking at the Raiders depth chart, like if I'm Mendoza, I don't want to go there. Like Trey Tucker, Jalen Naylor, and Jack Beach are your wide receivers. That's not a good supporting cast. Your offensive line is not that good. Connor Hayward is going to be a starter on your team. That's not good. You're going into a very bad situation. This is like someone, if he would have came out last year and fell to later in the first round, would have been ideal for him because he would have went to a team that was, more or less in place, and he just had to go in and learn to manage it from the beginning instead of having to go in and command it with shit around him. He's going to end up in a bad situation. Ty Simpson might actually end up in a better situation. It might look better early on just because of where he landed.
Let's look at Cody. Cody says Ty Simpson. Okay, we did get that one. Ty also says Cody shake my head. Steel Loyal says, all right, Cody Orlovsky. Jello Donut says, oh, haha, that's a good one. Cody says Ryan smokes on Jeremiah Smith. RB says, I think Simpson has as much upside as Mendoza, but again, I don't think neither have top 10 upside. I don't either. I don't either. Tortilla says, I like Ty, but he ain't better than Mendoza. Not yet, at least. Mark Malone says, Derpy giving Aunt Peaches the Alabama Hot Pocket.
Derpy.
Cody says, you like that one, Derpy? Let's get into some stuff, guys.
And on our group chat that needs to be said to Tater Tard.
I mean, if it's not on the show, I can't focus on 15 things that's going on outside the show. I mean, if you want to post it on the board, that'd be great, but I just can't.
I'll just say it.
Go ahead.
Basically, he said, tell Tater Tard we found his Cleveland Browns in a hole under my front yard. Because he's doing the repair and stuff.
That's right. Vince is having his front yard torn apart. He has a big bulldozer as we speak in his front yard digging a big hole. Mike, we're talking about quarterbacks, talking about these youngsters. And people will often say, and like Tater Tart, he comes in here, and he tries to troll this, that, and the other. But when you think about the quarterback that we had last year, and people will laugh, and I get that. Because you want to know why? I would laugh too. If I was in the situation, somebody else got Aaron Rodgers and had to deal with it. But Mike, last year, let's take a look at the numbers between our quarterback and Sam Darnold, who was the Super Bowl winning quarterback last year, Mike. Sam Darnold had 361 completions last year. Aaron Donald had 327. Sam Darnold's completion percentage was 67.7. Aaron Rodgers is 65.7. The passing yards is about 700 yards off. However, just bear with me. Sam Darnold's had 4,000 yards. Aaron Rodgers had 3,300 yards. But listen, let me continue. Passing touchdowns. Sam Darnold, the Super Bowl winning quarterback, had 25. Aaron Rodgers had 24. Yards per attempt. Sam Darnold 8.5, Aaron Rodgers 6.7. Interceptions. Sam Darnold 14, Aaron Rodgers 7. Sam Darnold also got sacked 27 times. Aaron Rodgers being sacked, of course, 29 times, which is roughly the same. So at the end of the day, all the complaining and yes, yeah, he played for Pittsburgh, of course. I might have mixed two names together, but I apologize. But you know what? As I'm saying, though, we're sitting here saying that, look what Seattle did. They went out and got that guy. They went out and got their guy. They won the Super Bowl, and our guy ended out. Tater says, "What stats? If you don't win it, bro? You've never won anything. Just shh. How can you not ever win anything and still talk trash? Is my question." So what I'm saying, my point was this was, Sam Darnold comes in, Mike, they got their guy, and our guy came in as a 42-year-old bridge quarterback, if you will, and he still managed roughly the same statistics. Now, if he would have actually had a wide receiver too,
Yeah.
or a couple other pieces that we're putting together this offseason, he could have easily had Sam Darnold's numbers, Mike. All in all, at the end of because with the situation we had compared to the situation, and they had Jackson Smith-Njigba, who's considered one of the better receivers last year.
Yeah.
Mike, this quarterback did not play that much better than Aaron Rodgers, all in all. With again everything that was stacked up against our quarterback situation.
Yeah, and the Seattle's line played a little bit better than ours did. And Aaron Rodgers, he still has that arm talent. He can still sling the ball down the field. It was evident there. And you have to figure like the two different styles of offenses as well. That one was built around the passing game, like getting vertical attacking the middle of the field. Pittsburgh's was not built on that. When you can shade all your coverage to DK Metcalf, you don't have to worry about anyone else. That's going to take away a lot of your options. So now, like you said, and people are saying on the board, we got DK, we got Pittman now. That's going to spread out that coverage. It's going to open up more things. We're going to run a system that he's really intimately familiar with. So his arm looked good all season long too. Then it died down. The offensive line should hopefully be better this year. And, he can get out there and do his thing. And if he can put up similar numbers, I think we're going to be looking really good. And I think those numbers are going to actually improve. I don't think he's going to throw for 4,000 yards, but he might flirt with it.
Absolutely, because again, Mike, his options were so limited last year, and again, if you block him and he's able to throw balls downfield, it's gonna be a whole different game, especially adding these weapons. Tater says, check out Shador's stats. What is 7 touchdowns and his 10 interceptions? That was really good. But anyway, let's continue on with the important information. I'm going to stay right on the board for a couple minutes just so we don't get too far behind. Let's go to right here. Cody says, Derpy, are you staying at Finch's house for the draft? Finchy says, what's up, Yinzers? Jello Donut says, yes, he did. Cody, Mark Malone, imagine if Rodgers, exactly. Imagine if Rodgers had any, come on. Number one receiver was out the last 2 games of the year. We managed to win the games we needed to win to make the playoffs. The Browns were not even putting themselves in that position. They just stunk all year. So I don't know. Let me just scoot up here a little bit. Let's go to Cody. He says, I knew it. Ty says, facts, Mark, Pittman, A-Rod, Roman need 2 more. Christopher says this. He says, if it wasn't for the block, punt, and scoop and score, the U would have won the national championship. Carson Beck was not at his best, but the U still should have won. That was who I wanted to win. Cody, dog, your team has had top 3 pick for the last 30 years, and you haven't won anything. Let's go to Tortilla. Hawks have a good defense too. Absolutely. I mean, I'm just trying to prove the point with the quarterbacks. And there's a lot of things go into it, but at the end of the day, the numbers that were put up by the quarterback who was 43 years old and didn't have an offensive line to protect him and didn't have a left tackle and didn't have receivers, and a team that has it all together, like the Seattle Seahawks, to have numbers, that close together. That's just the point I'm trying to make. Let's also go to where are we? Ty says 6 touchdowns, 10 picks, laugh my ass off. You guys should retire his jersey. If Dion was involved, the Cleveland Browns would already have Shedeur Sanders' jersey retired. And how stupid. They could just add to his. And here's another thing. RB was telling us that what's her name? The guy down in Jacksonville, Mike.
Yeah. Oh my God, Hunter.
They're already deciding just to let him play on one side of the ball. I thought because they retired his number at Colorado, he was going to be, the next big thing. But
yeah, that was a smart move, though. I can't believe they tried to let him play both sides of the ball. You can't do that at this high of a level where everything is specialized. You can't do that. So if they actually did something smart, a day late, dollar short, though.
Jelly Donut says this at Chris. Glad there are 3 facets of football that include special teams. Robert Kirkpatrick says this. A-Rod had only one legitimate wide receiver. DK double covered. I'm sorry. I'm really looking forward to this year. And that's the thing. I mean, come on. And Arthur Smith was the offensive coordinator, which proved to not be that great the past couple years. But people say this, like, oh, we were 10-7 and we made the playoffs. But did you watch any of the football? Did you watch any football games? The offense was lucky at best. They got some overachievement, I thought, out of Kenneth Gainwell and Terrell Austin III and a few other players, Mike, throughout the course of the season. But let's do scoot on here. I'm going to go to Jelly Donut. All right, I ran the numbers, and Ty Simpson's average ranking defense he played against is 31st nationally. Steel Loyal says Shador Sanders ain't even going to be starting this year. What are you talking about, Tater? Tyrone, 12 a bum, probably won't even start this year. Cody says the 3-14 Browns average record.
Dynamite franchise.
Tyrone said that's a good move by the Jags. They did that for BTJ. Jelly Donut says this. He says Mendoza faced an average defensive rank on 17th nationally. Cody says Tater wears a brown paper bag on his head year round.
That's a good one.
I'd like to see that. Let's go to the next message here, Mike. We're don't drink that. What's up, Corey? Always great seeing Corey on the terrible board. Corey says Tater isn't 12 the number of quarterbacks that you've had in the last 3 seasons. That's about it, too. Always great seeing Corey on the board. And Steeler Freak John, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Big John Stud. Middle name Mud. He says the true Iron Man will never return. The game is both too physical and technical now. You know, I didn't think it was going to work out anyway. He seemed pretty blown up coming into the league. Again, he didn't blow. He listen. Him or Shador didn't really excite you because there was so much hype on their name, and I think people really wanted to see them do something special because of all the hype on their name. And it was almost more like a wrestling promotion, to where, you know, it's all about everything that you could do besides the wrestling. It's all about the promotions and getting on there and talking shit and talking yourself up. And that's how it came out with both of them players out of Colorado. It seems like they were talked up so much you wanted to believe that there was more to it, but so far they're very average at best, in my opinion. We'll see how their second year in the league plays out.
Yeah, for especially like Travis Hunter, when he came out of college, he was, you know, the number 1 recruit in his class, and then he was like almost committed to Florida State, but then flipped to Jackson State with Dion, and then I don't know, man. Last year it was kind of disappointing. I was expecting more out of him, especially him playing in the secondary. I don't know. He hopefully, for his sake and his career's sake, him focusing on one position will actually unlock his true potential. Because the kid has talent. It's just you can't split your attention at this high of a level.
You're right. Let's go right here to Steeler Freak. We did get that. You know, and I'm going to come back away from those guys because they're really irrelevant. I want to come back to this Aaron Rodgers thing real quick, Mike, because this is what Kabuli said. I just pulled it up as you were talking. Kabuli thinks Aaron Rodgers has heard Art Rooney II will comply. Rooney set an expectation for Rodgers to make his decision about his 2026 plans by the NFL draft, which is less than 2 weeks away, and Kabuli thinks Pittsburgh Steelers won't have to wait a second longer. He said, this is my new prediction, he says, superseding his old prediction. He says, this isn't any insider knowledge, though. They have their first on-field practice the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday before the draft. I think he will be there. He also goes on to say, because the franchise is a new head coach and Mike McCarthy, the Steelers are permitted to hold a 3-day voluntary veteran minicamp to get a jump start on the new scheme and system. That begins next Monday. And Kabuli believes that Rodgers will be there for the workouts. That is what I was trying to talk about.
I just love, like, my first prediction didn't work, so I'm going to go with my second. My second didn't work. I'm going to go to my third. My third prediction didn't work. I'm going to go to my fourth, and that one is the correct one.
And the next day.
Right? It's like DJ Khaled. And another one.
Yes, that is exactly
what we're working with here.
Let's see. Also,
Another one.
Tyrone says, hope that's true. Ty says, let me go back a little bit here. All right. I'm going to go to Steeler Freak. No, we right past Steeler Freak. Ty, Travis Hunter's really good. He got hurt I'm glad he's just playing defense now. He is good. Don't
He's
get me
good, but
wrong.
it's the Jaguars, and not one man can save a team.
Well, yeah. Joe Ladona says good for Rooney. Also, Ty says I hope so. 10 days. Aaron Clock is running, brother. Ty says hope that's true. Cody says this. Kabuli said the Steelers will draft some people soon. Cody, Aaron sucks. And Tortilla says you haters have the biggest cans. Guys, so Mike, 10 days. 10 days.
Yeah.
Who's the
10
Steelers?
days.
Listen, I'm not even going to go this
He needs
direction.
to hurry up because I'm tired of the smoke screen stuff that's out there, all these rumors and stuff.
Well, here's a couple interesting things, guys. Well, we did have, okay, so let's just talk about before we move on, Mike. We did have the 3 visits last week on Friday as we wrapped up the week. The 3 pre-draft visits was with Travis Burke, the offensive tackle from Memphis, Harold Parkins, the linebacker from LSU, and also Malik Muhammad, the cornerback from Texas. Just for fun, we're not going to get into this whole part of this segment right now, but Mike, right off the top of your head, who is going to be the Steelers' top draft pick? Don't give me. I don't want to hear anything about trades. Just give me a name. That's all I really want for this.
Damn.
There's so much smoke out there, dude.
I'm gonna go with Vega out of Penn State.
Derby, who do you think? Who do you think the first pick for the Steelers is going to be in the draft this year?
One of two. I got 2.
All right.
It's either going to be the guy from Penn State, the guard Vega, or this one of the safeties.
And the reason I asked you this, is because Mike McCarthy, excuse me, Big Mike said that he's going to see a match between Spencer Anderson and Brock Hoffman. Doesn't rule out adding a guard in the draft, but he says that Mike, to see these 2 guards going at it at camp, that's the goal right now. Is that smoke screens, or is that him believing in what we already have in the locker room?
I hope it's smoke screens. I really do. God, yeah, you're gonna go with 2 guys, who have been in the league a while that haven't been really starters or productive starters when they got in there. I know, he liked Hoffman when he was in Dallas, but my God, I just didn't see it with him. I just don't think he's that good of a guard, and I think it actually hurts the team having him in there, not getting someone of Vegas pedigree in there. I just hope they don't think he's the guy, but God, knowing the way he built the staff of people that he trusted, and getting a guy like Hoffman, who was a guy that he worked with and knew him, so that it might actually be some truth there. So I hope it's not, but not following McCarthy and how he's done drafts throughout his years, I'm gonna have to take him at his word for it, because the Steelers, there was never any definite when Kahn and Tomlin did things, or Colbert and Tomlin did things. It was a lot of ifs, buts, wins, kind of sort of maybes to keep people off guard. So you never had a definitive statement. This sounded like a definitive statement of these are going to be the 2 guards. So now it's leading towards wide receiver then at that point.
Let me read it to you. When it comes to left guard, we have a healthy competition, was the term that was used, between Brock Hoffman and Spencer Anderson set up, but it's also a spot we would like to add in the draft. It goes on to say it's a group that I obviously would like to add some young guys to that room. So I don't know which way to take that, Mike. I don't know which way to take that.
Add some young guys, to me, that sounds like, okay, we're looking in later portions of the draft to add someone to compete, to see if they have something, instead of oh no, we're going to get the best interior offensive lineman in the draft and solidify left guard through right tackle. That sounds to me like we're going to look for someone later in the draft.
Mike, and then finally, I'm going to go back to this name just one more time, just because Kabuli did say that he's against drafting a tackle early. He says that he wants to see the competition betteen Broderick Jones and Dylan Cook play out? Is this sensible to again, I think that falls in the same category, Mike.
Yeah.
Just as you have with Spencer Anderson and Brock Hoffman, you got two guys that probably shouldn't be starting. They're probably not what you're looking for, but it's going to be a competition. And at the end of the day, which one of these two positions do you think that we will be going into the season with under the gun, in a sense, Mike? Do you think it's going to be the guard position with either Spencer Anderson or Brock Hoffman? Do you think they're going to fix it with the draft pick, or the tackle position with Cook and Jones, or do you think they're going to fix that with the draft pick? And which one of these two positions do you see being the position that we got to go into the season behind the 8 ball at? It's going to be one or the other. If we fix both of these with the draft and it fixes things, I'll be so surprised. Mike, I think one of these gets fixed in the draft. The other one still remains iffy. Which one of these two is more than likely to be fixed next week?
I can see tackle, just because you have that relationship with Hoffman, with like McCarthy and the coaching staff. So I can see them being maybe comfortable with him and letting him and Spencer Anderson, but they don't know any of these left tackles. All they know is like Broderick Jones has been a bust, and Dylan Cook, was like a quarterback in college that turned himself into a tackle that played a pretty successful 6 to 7 games in the NFL. But that's the big question mark. So I can see tackle, and I wouldn't have a problem going tackle in first round. Like we say on this podcast all the time, the top 3 positions: quarterback, cornerback, left tackle. Like those are the 3 positions that if you have a stud at, you're okay. And a stud left tackle can solve a lot of problems on your offensive line. So I have no problem getting a tackle. I have no problem getting the 3rd tackle in like 4 drafts. You get it until it's right. And if one's there, awesome. You can get that guy, and then it can solidify things.
Absolutely. Let me get to the board here. I'm going to get to Derpy also in a few minutes. Let's go right here to Cody. Cody says any quarterback can do what Rodgers did last year. It was nothing special. I disagree in a way, just because again there's things between his ears that he sees and knows that not just any quarterback can do. So I think that was a little bit of advantage, and I think that's the only reason why we're still continuing to play this game and continuing to rely on him as the bridge quarterback. There's something upstairs. I mean, it's not all gone. It didn't all get zapped out as he got a little bit older. He still knows what he's looking at, and he didn't throw a whole lot of the interceptions. At the end of the day, that's what you want from your quarterback. Don't go out there and throw a lot of picks and give your team a chance to win. And if it wasn't for him, we probably wouldn't have had a chance to win as much as we did. So Tater says that he's retarded. We know you're retarded, Tater.
You don't have to announce that, buddy. We know. It's okay. We're here for you.
Jelly Donut says this: does Rodgers want to play football or F his imaginary woman? Who's his wife? Nobody knows. With him, who knows? Who knows? Steeler Freak Johnny says I only trust Kabuli knowing all the 2-for-1 DoorDash specials for the day. Here's one I was thinking for you guys.
This is a
Remember
good one.
back in the day, people would get milk delivered with the milkman would come.
Yeah.
Then it went away for 60 years, and now it's back. You can literally DoorDash milk to your front door and be left off at the stoop, just as they did 60, 70 years ago. And again, it just disappeared, then it came back. I don't know. I thought that was kind of wild, Mike, because nobody talks about the fact that you could get milk delivered. Obviously, it's always food and things like that by DoorDash. But if you wanted to go back to the old ways, Derpy, you could get milk delivered right to your doorstep.
Maybe some people can find their real dad that way then.
And that's true. It's true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Also, yeah, good.
God, I know the joke. It came and went. I apologize.
Ty says this: would y'all trade Highsmith or Herbig because one got to go? We can't be. You know what? Let's get into that.
That's what I've been seeing.
Let's get into that. I have it here. So, Mike, Derpy, board, Nick Herbig. He's played 45 games. He started 11 of them. He has 16 sacks. 32 quarterback hits, 79 total tackles, 23 tackles for loss, 1 interception, 9 forced fumbles in 2 seasons, and 4 fumble recoveries. I would easily get rid of one of those other guys first.
Yeah.
And call me crazy. Go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead. I apologize.
Well, I mean, it comes back to the. I think I haven't seen it, but I think with the thumbnail, I think has T.J. Watt, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And that was some talk today, and heading into this week is some speculation because Dallas, again, it doesn't seem like they're unwilling to do anything to get big names on this defense, and some talks keep coming up. And in my opinion, this is. I think people should have been talking about this sooner.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's going to be time to get this big contract figured out. And what are you going to do? What are you going to do at the outside linebacker, the edge rusher position? Because at the end of the day, as I was saying on the board, you can't have all three of these people. They're all making, good money. Yeah. One of these guys got to go. And I would think the next natural step, as it's always been, would be the guy that's making all the money and who is the furthest ahead on the in the aging process.
Exactly. And that's how it's been done for a long time in Pittsburgh is your production goes down, you're getting up there in age, we're not going to give you a contract. And that changed under Art, and they need to go back to the old way of cycling out old talent and bringing in new talent and letting the new talent take over. Unless you're still playing at a high level, and we've beat this dead horse on the show, but Watt's not playing at a high level. His skill set has declined. It makes the most sense to move him. All-time Steeler agree, but you still move on from players. It's okay. The next crop comes up. I care more about the logo than I do about the player. I want the team to win. What's best for the team might be him. There's reports that Dallas is looking at him. There's reports that the Eagles are considering trading for, if they see if they can get some, what it would take to get Myles Garrett or a T.J. Watt. If I'm the Steelers, I'm running to one of those teams and offering up TJ Watt, like, what's your package? What kind of picks?
Who do you want from Philadelphia? Who do you want from Philadelphia if they wanted to go serious and go after Watt?
I know everyone's going to say Jalen Carter, but
they're not going to offer him.
But his play has declined year over year over year.
I want one of them receivers. I want somebody.
I would say like Brown.
That. I would too. I want Brown or somebody like this. I wouldn't trade. I wouldn't want Jalen Carter in this situation. I mean, I want Jalen Carter, but I mean, who from Philadelphia? I'd like to get me one of them wide receivers, man. And they're bringing in more wide receivers in Philly, so you can't carry 15 wide receivers.
Yeah, and AJ Brown would be the logical choice too, and because I'm pulling up his cap situation and TJ Watt's cap situation, so bear with me a moment, but I think that would make the most sense for both teams from a salary cap situation and a player situation. Obviously AJ Brown has not been happy there. My man's reading self-help books on the sideline because his quarterback can't get on the ball. Like here, yes, he would be number 3 on the team. You'd have 3 really good receivers. He's signed through 2030 $29 million or like $23 million a year on his contract goes up. So like that makes sense for him and Watt, like eat some of the cap space from Watt's nasty ass contract in a swap there. I would do it straight up with maybe some late round pick swaps. I would do that in a heartbeat because I think AJ Brown is the more productive player at their positions than TJ Watt is at this point.
Absolutely.
And yeah, you would have 3 receivers that are in their late 20s, but now you have 3 guys that are still continually play at a high level. AJ Brown has had 1,000 yards every year except for 2021. And that was still at 869
no
in Tennessee.
He's a dominant wide receiver, and he has been for many years. And since that day, he scored 3 touchdowns against the Steelers that afternoon. I thought to myself, this guy's a monster. And like he hasn't slowed down not once since that day seasons ago.
No, I'd take him. I would. I'd just offer those 2 up and get back from the Eagles with a better draft pick, just because TJ Watt's more highly regarded. Or if they want to just do a late round pick swap because they're going to be eating up more cap space than we are, fine, go ahead and do something like that. But for me, player for player swap, that would be great, and I think it would benefit both teams. We'd save on the cap space. They would get a premier edge rusher to help round out their defense some more if that's what they're looking for, and we would have some money to be able to extend Nick Herbig. Yeah, I would like this. I'd do it in a heartbeat because, like I always say, if there's one GM and one front office that can figure out all these contracts, it's Omar Khan and his staff because he's a wizard at this.
Well, there's some information coming up on the board that I find interesting. Like it's coming in by way of, let me go. I don't know. I guess let me work to it because I lost it. But it was RB. He said something really interesting here. Let me see if I could find it real quick. No.
Hey, I found it at 13:30.
13:30. Okay, I was told Dallas offered a 12 for Watt, and Omar and Andy Weedle wanted to do it. Rooney said no, and that's really dumb on Art. Mike?
Yeah, if that's the case,
That's
and
the case. That's really
your
stupid.
whole front office and your coaching staff's okay with it, and your owner says no, that's the time like the owner needs to pump the brakes and realize we need to do what's best for the team. And like it's okay to let players go. You know, your dad and grandfather did that. They let guys go for the betterment of the team. You know, I hate saying it, but Franco Harris retired to Seattle Seahawk. He won 4 Super Bowls, and he was a Super Bowl MVP. T.J. Watt has not won.
Joe Montana finished a Kansas City.
Exactly. Right. Wayne Gretzky bounced around the NHL, and he's the greatest player of all time over there, arguably. So it's guys are allowed to leave teams. It is okay. Michael Jordan played for the fucking Wizards. It's okay. But you have to do what's best for the team, what's best for the logo, not for the individual player. It's okay to move on from him. I like TJ Watt. I hope he has a great. I hope he got a sport team. I hope he has a great season this year if we keep him. But if I can improve my team elsewhere and keep someone better and younger, I'm going to do that option instead.
Let's get back on the board, guys. I don't want to get too far behind. Ty says Cooper Jr. Steeler freak. John says Derpy hates everything. Derpy.
I hate everything.
Again, and I can't tell if Mike's queuing it up or if I should continue to talk.
On which one? I'm sorry.
All right, never mind. That means I'm moving forward.
I pulled a Derpy, dude. I got this comment, brother. I'm sorry.
Tortilla says Beck RB. Anytime he actually covered a wide receiver who was NFL quality. John, Derpy sounds like all the fake media got him down.
That's fair.
Mark Malone. Anderson was pretty bad at guard. Tyrone, I'm sorry, Mark Malone, he follows it up by saying, we need Dunker. Ty says the better be effing smokescreen RB, especially Alec Animator from Stanford. He big brothered him all over the field for like 10 catches, 178 yards, and 3 touchdowns for something close to that.
Yeah, I remember that game. He fucking torched him.
How do you pronounce that name for me?
Exactly.
Okay. I just, all right.
You ain't catching me on that one.
Don't drink that. Corey says Smith's Furniture. Who's that? That's who. Smith's Furniture. That's who. Christopher says this. We're going to be pleasantly surprised by what Omar Khan does in the draft. One thing we know about Mike McCarthy is that his offense always scores a lot of points. And boy, we are so in need of that, man. We are so in need of that. I can't wait to score points this year. Let's go to Steeler Freak John. That means shit. We are effed at guard. We better draft one. Cody says this ENH or haha, I can't spell his name, but it's said like that. Ty says Jones will probably start. At the end of the day, he might. Cody says Mike just wants to. I know he does. Well, Derpy does too. Derpy, you're no better.
Like I know.
No, man. Cody, you keep forgetting, man. I'm an Indiana Hoosier, man. Mendoza all the way, baby.
John says Jones has to clear medical. Tortilla says Jones is going to tackle Rodgers again, and they'll both get hurt. Ty says I don't see them giving up on first round pick, hoping with a new offensive line coach he can be fixed. And that's another thing too. I mean, we're saying, let's see if the coaching staff could fix this, and that. Maybe under a new head coach. I understand that some of those line coaches are still around. But maybe under, a new coaching system, maybe some of these linemen could excel. We don't know. We don't know. Let's go to Cody Jones is Derek Zoolander. He can go left. Let's go.
I'm not an ambi-turner.
RB says that's why I mocked Ian Hawker. He says he can play both at a high level when you can decide where to go deeper in the draft. Ty says, Mike, we brought in Fano. He could play the guard too.
That's true. Yeah. If you draft Fano, he can move inside.
Mark Malone says, I'm not scared of Cook playing. Corey, don't drink that. Says I don't want to hear his opinion on tackle. Motherfucker can't even tackle weight loss. Cody says this. Hey, look, RB spelled his last name right, or spelled his name right. John, it's Steeler Freak says Tater's dad's DNA was filtered through the sheets. Corey says that Cody RB is a scholar of football in the names. Now, apparently, that's a private school education. I went to school in Kentucky. I'm hanging on by a thread, laughing my ass off. Tortilla says Kabuli doesn't buy milk, he produces it. Cody, Corey, Mark Malone, Walmart Plus is a great thing.
Fuck yeah, it is, brother.
Yes,
You don't have to mingle with the people. Just have your groceries and your milk delivered to the front doorstep. Game changer.
Tortilla says Tortilla, the Krusty Krab pizza is the pizza for Mark Kabuli. Finch again on a Sup Yinzers. What's up, Finch? RB T Watt needs to go. Not Highsmith or Herbig. I agree. That's where I'm at too. That's honestly, the next natural step.
It should have been 2 years ago when we tried to extend him.
Let me ask you this: if TJ Watt goes to Philadelphia or Dallas and puts up 15 sacks, who cares? Yep. That's what everyone said. What if he's not done? What if he? How long do you expect him to be top high level edge rusher? I mean, how old is he now? 30.
He is 32? 31. He's about to be 32 in October.
So let's say he does get a nice season over the next 5 years, something that would be considered, a season like that. You have Herbig. His numbers are just as good at this point or better. Again, like he had more sacks than TJ. He was available more than TJ was last year. And again, Highsmith not making the money. So I think it's a no-brainer. Again, do you love the guy? Do you want to see him here? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, it's a business as anything else.
It's a business.
And the next natural step would be letting the guy go that makes all the money. And and if you didn't have Nick Herbig, this wouldn't be a difficult decision.
Exactly.
Right. You would say, "Oh, we got what we need. Let's give TJ his money, and Alex, let's take care of him." But at the end of the day, you have a guy that is going to be starting somewhere in the NFL, Mike, one way, shape, or form. I think the next natural move would be move TJ. Mike, where does the tag, the franchise tag, does that come into play for Nick Herbig, and can that be the road?
It can come into to play. I'm going to pull that up real quick because I forget the value is like the top 15 of all edge rushers, and it's going to be a high one next year.
Right. Go ahead and grab that. I'm going to grab this next message for Derpy. Don't drink that. Corey says, where the fuck is Derpy? He looks like he's being Thanos snapped out this bitch. What makes him funny is that he continues with the screen looking. And I'm not just talking about now. I'm not talking about a week from ago. Derpy, it's been quite some time, and he likes it. He likes zooming in and out of the picture. And also, I've noticed like on the Nerdy Show, you do it too. You zoom around and you're like teleporting all over the place. It's just kind of Derpy shtick at this point. Yeah, Mike, what's it looking like?
So for Herbig, so for the 2026 season, it would be like $27 million. So it's only going to go up next year. So it probably might be like 28, 29 million if we have to franchise Nick Herbig. And Watt's value next year would be 42 million. So it would be less than what Watt is making. So it wouldn't make sense. But then, what he said out, blah, 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 all that nonsense. But it's a good negotiating tool. We got to move on from Watt, because if we let Herbig go out the door, every Inter fan is going to be bitching, oh, why we let Herbig go? Because we're holding on to someone like TJ Watt. That's why. You got to extend Herbig, and you got to extend Joey Porter Jr. this offseason.
Absolutely.
And those two,
one or the other.
Yeah, and those two are more important pieces to the puzzle right now than someone like Watt is.
I couldn't agree with you more.
It comes a time in everyone's career when your skills diminish to where you're not that valuable to the team anymore, and it has unfortunately hit TJ Watt.
Ty's saying, I'm telling you, trade Highsmith, keep Herbig. Let's get back on the board. Lots of things going on the board today. Glad to see everybody, Mike, in this smack dab middle of the off season. It is halfway between the playoff game that we lost and halfway between the first preseason game. So we're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there slowly but surely, guys, as we're just 10 days away from the NFL draft. Let's get to the board. A lot of good things being said on the board. I don't want to get too far behind. Let's go right here. John says, I remember going to the Steeler Freak. I remember going to get the milk out of the metal box and putting the empty glass in the return slot for the milkman.
That's old. No offense, brother, but that's old.
Dude says use Herbig, Watt, Highsmith this year, get rid of one next year. Ty says I'd trade Highsmith for a second round 2027. Herbig younger and cheaper. Highsmith almost 30. Let's go. Yeah.
I'd much rather have my edge duo of Highsmith and Herbig. I just think that's it's a younger, more dynamic duo than we're getting out of Watt and Herbig.
Your point is
this is my preference.
That is what you said. RB says I only spelled it right because it's not my auto suggestions when I start with I hey. Also, Jelly Donut says this. I think Mike McCarthy said he's not changing the defense as it's been in place since Dick. You can plug and play whoever you want, and they are going to be badass. Trade TJ Watt. Yeah, I don't like that.
That has some wrinkles to the defense.
Absolutely. That defense has not been great for quite some time. You might as well give up another 250-yard rushing game if you're not going to change anything. I don't know. Again, we'll see. We will see. Ty says nobody taking TJ Watt money. Nobody taking TJ Watt money. Tortilla, give me one of the white DBs from Philly, I think he's saying. I don't think you're going to get Cooper DeJean. I thought Blankenship, whatever. I thought he was on the move, but then I seen he was still there. I don't know what's going on with him.
I thought Blankenship was moved as well.
I did too, and then I seen like later he was still there. Pull it up, see where he's at.
I'm getting there.
I mean, it's possible we could trade for him, but it's like their defense is pretty much taking a hit.
I don't want none of them white guys. I don't want any more white people in the secondary. I want brothers back there.
I'm just saying, like,
Cooper is
definitely taking a hit. So
yeah, Mike.
Reed Blankenship's not there. I forget where he went. I just pulled up their depth chart and he's not on it.
Jello Donut says AJ Brown too much problems, which he is.
He is.
How much you willing to put up with though? Everyone's complaining we should have kept George Pickens. Well, there shouldn't be any problems if we bring in AJ Brown then.
Exactly.
Dude says one low year due to many reasons. Poor performance. Metcalf just as disappointing. RB, I was told Dallas. Okay, we did get that one a little bit earlier. RB also says I want a pick, not so much players. Ty, I don't believe that RB laughed my ass off. Yeah, Derby.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, I was referring to RB's picks instead of players.
Here's a question for you guys. Now we have three third-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're getting offensive line. We're getting wide receiver. In my opinion, we're getting that with the first two picks, whether it be a guard or a tackle or a wide receiver. Where do you think we venture in that third round? Because you're still getting good players. You're still getting guys that could potentially, be a big part of your team. When we get third round and we have three picks and we're still in the top 100, all three of them are within the top 100.
Yeah.
Where does the Steelers start venturing in the third round? All these other suggestions, all these other things. We're like, well, they're not going to get that early because we need this. We're not going to get that early because we need a lineman. Third round, you're going to get that opportunity to play a little bit now. You got what you need. Let's just say again, they go off offensive line and a wide receiver in the first two rounds. So you filled your needs right off the top with your two highest picks. So now, where do you go? Where do you go with the third round picks, Mike? It could get very interesting. Yeah. In my opinion, that's where the most interesting part of this draft falls. Yeah. Because after that, you have about 46 picks that the Steelers have. And again, if you don't trade them, move them, whatever, a lot of these guys aren't even going to be on the squad come the end of July. So at the end of the day, my question, I think the interesting part of this draft, the most interesting part is that third round. 3 picks, all within the first 100 picks, Mike. And again, if you get offensive line and you get wide receiver taking care of the guys that you want in rounds 1 and 2, round 3 can be pretty interesting. And again, like this is where all the speculation that everybody's saying, oh, we get this guy, oh, we like that guy, we need a safety, we need an inside linebacker. I think it's third round. What do you guys, Mike? What's your take on the third round? Then I'll come to you next, Derpy. So you think about
third round, dude. There's a lot of options in the third round.
Yes,
like you can double dip back into get a receiver, get another offensive lineman, even though you got those in the first round, because you need help at both those positions. Like you're saying, linebacker. If there's one there that you like, you can get them. D-line, third round is when I've been going D-line and extra wide receiver. Like Dominic Orange, a Ted Hurst type of player. Reaching for, it might be considered a reach, but a Dante Corleone, he's projected 4th, 5th round just because he plays nose. But if you really like him, you can get him there. Safety is a spot as well. Just not knowing the complete health of Deshaun Elliott. Okay, if one of the safeties is sitting there that you like, you can go there, go corner. Like literally every position is on.
Let me jump in real quick, Mike. Let me jump in real quick. Where's Savage at? I mean, we brought him, and then there hasn't been any talks of signing.
There hasn't been any signs of the last we had is like he's working through a medical to try and get reevaluated by the team to be signed, because the contract offer last I saw was still out there, but has not been signed. The Steelers haven't revoked it, and he hasn't.
Is he a safety?
Elsewhere. He's a safety.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, there's
so that's why safeties are, but
we have safeties come and go through this system as they have over the past few years. Go back to Keanu, whatever his name was. I mean, there was a bunch of guys over the past 5 years that kind of come and go at safety. Why is the safety position come up so much, Mike, when it seems like it's been such an easy position to kind of just glaze over as we've been taking care of everything else? And how important is that safety position in this particular draft? Like, they touched late in the draft with Sebastian Castro, a couple of these guys. And to me, it doesn't seem like you're going to get anything more than that. So what's the big hang up on the safety position? And is there anything that we could do in this year's draft that's actually going to be able to address what it is that we would like to address with the safety position?
Yeah, I think there's some really good safeties out there. Like, obviously Caleb Downs is number one. Him and Thieneman been going back and forth. The guy we brought in, Neil Warren, people like him as well. Those guys are all consensus first rounders or early second rounders. And you get into people like AJ Hockley, Kamir Ramsey, Genesis Smith, who people go back and forth on him. Like if he's plays too out of position and stuff. Those guys are looking at third rounders, Zeke Wheatley, Bud Clark, third, fourth rounder guys. So there's guys there that you can get, and they can play. Yeah, they're so much better than Sebastian Castro, who was not even drafted and didn't even see really much time on this team when we had so many safety concerns. So there are guys you can get in that third round, and if you go away with one of them, you might be in a pretty good spot right there. But we're also looking at the safety out of Florida or Miami, excuse me. I forget his name, but he would be available later in the draft, way late. He would be another Sebastian Castro type. But there's guys you can get in the third round because we don't know the health situation of Deshaun Elliott. We don't know what's going on with Darnell Savage in that contract situation. And then after Brisker and Jalen Ramsey, you don't have a whole lot there. So wouldn't surprise me if we come out of the third round with one of those guys. And I wouldn't be opposed to it. It's position and need, but the third round, we have 3 picks, but we have a lot of holes to fill even after the first round. Because like I said, you can double dip at wide receiver, get one in round 1 and then another in round 3 because we need the receiver depth. Same can be said for offensive line. You get one in the first or second round, you might as well grab another one in the third too. So third round, dude, it's completely open for me outside of kicker and quarterback and tight end. Go get the position of need or get the best player available at that point.
Derpy does got to take off pretty soon, so I'm going to swing around to him. Derpy, is there any chance in your opinion, and this third round again could be very interesting, a lot of different directions the Steelers could go, is there any chance they pull a sneaker on us and they grab a quarterback perhaps? Again,
that's actually one of my I was about to bring that up. I think they will. I mean, I don't know who it will be.
Yeah.
If they do it, but it's seeming likely with what we've seen over the news that they might take one in the third round.
It's just
if not the fourth round.
And again, I think that's where it gets interesting. So, once you do get to that third round, I just think all cards are it's all on the table. It could really be anything at that point. We don't know what to expect, but I do want to say thank you so much, Derpy, for your time today, brother. We always appreciate you, sir. You are the man. We hope that you have a good Monday. Enjoy the rest of your day, sir. And I will get a hold of you later. We still got we're in the middle of all this planning for the draft, and there's a lot going on. So I'll talk to you in a little bit, sir. Thank you, Derpy. Have
You're
a great
welcome.
one. All right.
See you
brother.
guys.
See ya.
See you. Let's get back on this board, Mike. Let's go to let's see. I'm gonna go right here to Tortilla. Tater's having flashbacks, he says. Let's how about this? Let's go to Ty. What ain't going anywhere? It's Herbig or Highsmith. He's the odd man out. And you know what a crazy, if that's the way that it plays out, it just sucks because again, unless Watt comes and puts up one of these spectacular seasons, I don't think he's worth it anymore, Mike.
He's not. And he'll have a handful of plays here and there that everyone's going to rant and rave about. Oh my God, this is why you keep him. This is why it's great. But then there'll be limited production, after that. He's still getting blocked one-on-one with guards anymore, or tackles, and you don't really have to chip him that much anymore. Like Baltimore started early in the last game of the season, but they kind of faded off because Cam Hayward was the one who stepped up. TJ Watt didn't do anything. He didn't do anything in the playoff game because I don't even remember the Texans trying to chip him at all in that playoff game. They kind of just left their tackle go out there, and I think they already moved on from him. So he's just not the player he once was. And it's okay to admit that. We can all wish and hope that he can have a bounce back year, but the track record showing his production has dipped. His explosiveness is gone. He's not the player he once was.
Tater says Rory kicked your ass again. I don't even know who's she. I never heard of her.
Yeah, it's the Masters. No one cares about golf.
Oh. Kicked whose ass again?
It's not against it's golf. It's players against players. It's not country against country. There, Tater. He's to quote Bugs Bunny. What a maroon.
Okay, thank you for that, Tater.
Maroon.
RB says this was right after the Crosby to Baltimore deal. John Steeler Freak says RB. I read all the time. Arch team equals his choice. We can't do anything about it. And John, you do say that absolutely. John follows it up by saying Art Rooney is a passive Jerry Jones. Tyrone, I didn't hear that at all. I don't think that's true. Mark Malone says Graham is going to have the Watt man making big plays on the rug, and I hope you're right. I just don't want to be at the end of the year again playing TJ Watt games. And listen, I understand. I understand that, when he had his injury at the end of the year was nothing that he could do. But it couldn't have happened to anybody else besides TJ Watt is all I'm saying. It's just, I don't know. Unless he has another one of these super years, I can't justify keeping him and paying him all that money. Again, that's money that the quarterback ones are making in this league. And again, there's somebody who affects the game every single time they touch the ball. Seven sacks just was not good enough for me for that money.
No, not at all. It's way overpaid.
Let's go to Lightning Rod. What's up, Lightning Rod? Always great seeing you on the terrible board. Lightning Rod says the USS Karen is heading to the Persian Gulf to speak with the Humors the Strait of Humors, I think it's called. Manager John says this. The Karen, I got you, Karen. Let's go here to John, the Steeler Freak. He says the most common emotion I ever seen from Art came when interviews asked about rebuilding. He will do things his way. Let's slide on up here to moved on me a little bit here. I'll find it, I swear. Mark Malone, Herbig, and Highsmith can't stay healthy, man. We need all those guys. But the thing,
Watt, all three of them get banged up. That's the problem.
And Watts comes again, it's not even anything football related. But the thing is, you can't keep all of them. You're gonna have to pay Herbig, and so that means one of these guys are gonna have to move. Ty says, yeah, we see. Christopher says it was awesome to hear that all the veterans showed up for the first. Absolutely. the first off-season activities. That tells me they're focused on getting better. I couldn't agree more. And you don't want to be the guy that's the odd man out. You got a new coach. You got new coaches. Everybody's going to look at you when you walk into into the locker room. And, if everybody was there and you're the guy that wasn't, everyone, people like to get off on the right foot. At least I would like to think so. John says this. He says, Jabba the Hutt hologram. Derpy is the Jabba the Hutt hologram. RV says, someone call Madman Mike Markham and have him go back in time and make sure Kabuli scores so Derpy still exists. The pitcher is fading quickly. Tyrone says, I'm telling you, trade Highsmith, keep Herbig. RB, Corey Beavers will get that. RB says this. Also, Steel Loyal, I'm in the shower, but still listening over my Bluetooth speaker. You know what? I got to be honest with you. Steel Loyal is loyal. Last week, he was in the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
Today's in the shower. What's it going to be next? What is it going to be next with Steel Loyal? We want to know.
I hope not in bed with the missus.
Well, I'd like to hear that more than him in the shower, to be honest with you. But that's just me.
The trajectory, it's showing that's going to be the progression.
RB, Loyal, are you rubbing one out to Derpy?
Oh.
Fuck, he says. Or yuck. Steel Loyal, I played the fifth. LOL, just kidding. Tortilla, you guys don't do that. I thought this was a race. Scoot up here to Ty. Ty says this. He says, oops. Ty says, me too, Mike, but being realistic, nobody taking Watt contract. We're stuck with it. So out of the two, it's Highsmith. Here's the thing. I mean, guys, people want him. I mean, Philadelphia is interested in him. Dallas is interested. I think we could move him if we really put together, a deal. And
yeah, there's ways to get it done. You have to manipulate the cap somehow. Both teams would, but it's malleable. It's fungible. And it might kind of bite one or two teams in the ass a little bit down the road, but they're both really smart front offices, and those two would be able to figure it out.
Cody says, Finch, is Derpy staying at your house for the draft?
That's the rumor. That's what I heard.
And if he does, I want all exclusive video from the whole entire visit.
Oh God.
We'll break it down frame by frame on the show. Jello Donut says, we had much problems with Metcalf. Can you imagine AJ Brown? I know. I mean, we didn't have much problems with Metcalf. I mean, there was, of course, punching a guy in the face, a fan. That's kind of a thing. But beyond that, I don't think there was many incidences, though, were there?
No, that was the only one. So I
dropping passes right into his hands wasn't a great thing.
Okay, yeah, that's not good. But shit.
Cody says, I'd rather have George Pickens than AJ Brown, but we all know Ryan would rather have Deontay Johnson.
Someone's trying to cause an argument today on the show.
Ty says safety, defensive tackle, linebacker. I'm gonna go right here. Dude says this. Pickens, did he help his team to the playoffs? All the great offensive power they have. The great Dak Prescott that I always hear about. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens. They didn't qualify for the playoffs.
No, they did not.
And that Pittsburgh Steeler team, the one that didn't have a quarterback or a line.
That sucks, baby.
That team managed to get in, so whatever. John says this. He says, Steeler Freak, I signed Derpy for the prison reality TV show in 60 days in.
I think that could help Derpy. I think that's what he needs.
Let's go to Mark Malone. Mark Malone says they may, in all seriousness, be looking at Beck with... And I agree. I don't know why I agree, but I do. Cody, George Pickens had more touchdowns last year by himself than the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mark Malone, probate in the 3 comp. Let's go here to Steeler Freak. He says, I can see them taking a quarterback. And that's what I was thinking that too. I was thinking that third round, you got them extra picks. It might be the chance just to get that guy. I don't even know what they're thinking if they do that. But
yeah, then you're really, if you're taking a quarterback that high, you're not that high on Will Howard.
And it makes you wonder what's the next move now. I mean, are these guys going to play? Are they going to battle out? Are we going to still go after the quarterback next year? The question with Aaron. So again, it's interesting. We will see. Let's go to right about here. Tortilla, imagine Derpy does a job interview phasing in and out.
I'd hire one on the spot, because a guy that crazy, that much of a wild card, I want him in my organization.
He's out of his mind all weekend long. He's getting a hold of me because we're trying to figure out this draft stuff, and he gives me information, and then I put something together, and then the very next message, he's like, "Oh, well, what? Maybe I could just go on Saturday." Bro, we just went over everything that's going to require you to go Friday. Why would you do that?
Because that's Derpy, man. That's just how he operates.
So then he's like, okay, well, then if I go Saturday, then we're gonna, and then it changes constantly. There's no definitive answer with him. It just you put something that makes sense, and then he goes off into a whole nother direction, and then you make that make sense, right in another direction. It's so what I couldn't deal with it all weekend, Mike. I just decided to just push it to the side.
Oh, I noticed because he was starting to tag me in the messages like, this is between y'all.
I was like, I'll deal with it on Monday. It's best for my psyche if I didn't deal with it over the weekend. So
he probably had abandonment issues.
Well, see if he stays at Finch's. Let's see how that goes. If there's an abandonment issue there as well.
See, yeah, I kind of hope that happens. I want to see this.
Tyrone says, no, Mark, nobody wants Sloth Boy. Jelly Donut says Pickens ranked 8th in receptions, 3rd on yards, 8th on touchdowns, and 7th for yards per catch. Cody says this Pickens better than DK and Brown. Ty, I don't think we signed him. Who didn't we sign? I'm sorry.
Maybe Savage, maybe.
Okay. Steeler Freak also says Pickens acted a fool for a reason. Free agent wide receivers know what time it is in the Pittsburgh. Ty Ryan Depp. Jelly Donut says this: if we can't handle Pickens and Metcalf had a meltdown with the fans, no way you go out and grab Brown. Well, it's a different system though. You know what I mean? It's the West Coast offense. We're going to be able to use receivers differently. And again, it wasn't under the same coaching staff. So this coaching staff didn't have problems with Pickens. It wasn't that they couldn't handle them. Ty says Ryan depends on what 5 playing, to be honest. RB, Kilgore is a huge sleeper at safety nickel corner. Ty, I like Wheatley. Cody says Clint Torres is a good free safety. Steeler Freak says first round will be long snapper. Speaking of which, Kristen Kuntz's birthday is today. Our current long snapper. Mark Malone, first 5 picks should be wide receiver, left guard, left tackle, quarterback. Cody says draft Ty Simpson.
This is why Cody is on the enemy list. Spitting nonsense like that.
Right here, I'm going to say, what's up to Jamal? Always great seeing Jamal on the board. Gang in this thing. That's right, baby. Always great seeing my man Jamal. Tyrone says first 5 picks should be wide receiver, guard. First 2 picks, then defensive tackle, wide receiver, linebacker. John, he says as it gets closer, Ryan burps more often.
It does.
It seems to work out that way, doesn't it? Let's scoot up here too. Jamal, gang in this thing. Ain't nothing but a thing. But a chicken wing on a string. Burger King. Gang, Ty says. Jamal says trade TJ, trade Moot. Steel Loyal says watch TJ come out and break the new sack record. Listen, if I even think that he could, I wouldn't be having these conversations. Mike, he's just slow and long. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, think of Myles Garrett. He's so choppy and fast, and there's just a lot going on when he's rushing. Think of TJ. It's these long strides, and I don't know. It's just different to me. Yeah. Max Crosby falls in the category of Myles Garrett. He's quick, a lot of hand movement. TJ, again, especially if Mike, they don't fix where he's coming from that same spot on the field every single play. Rookie tackles are going to continue to slow him down and stop him.
Yeah.
Like there's just no surprise element of surprise to his game. And again, guys like Myles Garrett and Max Crosby, you see this. There's just a different energy. And again, as you start to get older, like TJ is, those long, slow strides, they're going to get longer and slower.
Yeah, he like we keep saying, he no longer has that explosive first step. And you've noticed, like, watch Myles Garrett's game evolve over the years. He's gotten better. The latter portion of his career, he's become a more complete defensive end as he's gotten older. Whereas Watt has still just relied on the same move over and over and over.
You're right.
And with him not wanting to drop back in coverage as much anymore or be disciplined and play around anymore, he's become a less effective player. Because that year, he won the Defensive Player of the Year. He was doing all of the little things right. Not just trying to get to the quarterback. He got those sacks because he was doing everything right, and still dropping back into cover, still helping to set the edge for the run game, still making those great plays. But after that season, he's just wanted to go after the quarterback, and his play has diminished, and his skills have diminished, and you've seen that, and it sucks to see it happen because you're watching it happen in real time. And if you don't want to acknowledge it, that's fine, but it's out there. The video is out there. He's not the same player he once was, not doing the little things he once did consistently. That's what made him great. He just wants to always loop around the edge to get to the quarterback for the most part.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. He's still great. Like when he does that peanut punch to knock the ball loose, but he has to lock in to do that, to focus on the run game. But when he's not doing that, guys are just running right by him, and teams are just like pushing him out of the way with all an arm because they know what he's going to do, and you just run to that side.
Jamal says pick up Saquon first round. Ty Loyal, we'll see. I hope bounce back year. Still Loyal, Jamal, who in the absolute fuck is Saquon?
I think he means Sadiq.
Yeah.
/ receiver from Oregon.
I think so too. Jamal says this, by week 15, and then he'll disappear. Cody says, watch TJ get injured in week 3. And that's going to be the thing. We're going to, argue this all about TJ, and, he's going to get one of his injuries, or Highsmith is going to, with the groin, every year the groin with him now. He's missed, games, multiple games, Mike, for how many years in a row with these groin issues. So,
and that's the problem with all three guys. They all have injury concerns.
Yeah.
So it's like you kind of want to keep them all just because of that, but at the same time, you want to move on from one of them just because of the cap space to be able to sign someone else, to sign the younger players. It's kind of like a catch-22.
Jamal, tight end from Oregon, of course. Let's scoot up here a little bit. Dude says what? Highest chipped in league, most pressures after being chipped last season.
It's still only his backup outproduced him.
Right.
It's
when your backup has more sacks than you, and you're making quarterback one money.
Yeah, and you're not being the game record you once were.
Those have to be, some things that we consider as well. The highest chipped in the league, but also again, how many times have I seen a rookie offensive tackle without help stopping Watt for the afternoon? I mean, if he was that dominant player that he once was, or even what Myles Garrett is at this point in his career, I think that's different. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. Let's go here. Still Loyal. Sadiq, laugh my ass off. Jamal. Let's see. Still says his name is Kenyon Sadiq. Let's go to Aaron. What's up, Aaron Jade? Always great seeing Aaron Jade on the board with the message of the day. Of course, here we go. Steelers with the Rockets. Great seeing you, brother. Still Loyal says the Rams going to draft Sadiq. Jamal says we could use him though and have weapons. Can never have enough weapons. Tortilla close the Strait of Tater. The Strait of Tater. Let's go to wide receiver or guard. Steeler Freak John says, and that was Ty. John says every variable has been changed except for art. Time for a power move. Interesting concept. Everything has been changed, so it's just gonna be interesting to see now.
Yeah.
I hope after this year, Ty says. Up, I skipped one. Let's go back down to Steele. Steele says this. Missed a couple. I'm going to go right here. Steeler Freak says every variable. We got that. Jamal, he could play the slot. And D, wash out there too. To Woo, that would be nasty. How about right here? We'll go to Steel Loyal. He says, so when is Arthur Rooney going to pass the torch to Dan? It's about that time, right?
Hopefully sooner rather than later.
Ty says, I hope after this year. Ty says, next he will be with a chick. Let's scoot up here. Cody says that's because Watt only has one move on one side. Teams can predict where he's going to be and game plan for easy work for the. And I mean, think about it. Let's just say that you're putting your team together, and you're a coach, and you have a guy like Watt who literally comes from the same exact spot every single play, every single game, no matter what the situation is. I'm comfortable with that if I'm a coach. Now think of somebody like Myles Garrett or Micah Parsons, or a player that lines up in different spots in the middle of the line, on the right-hand side of the line, within the line, outside the box, on the right-hand side, outside the. I mean, there's so many different variables, and again, that you just have that element of surprise. How do I prepare for this guy? I have to now account for him being on the left-hand side. I now have to account for him for being in the middle of the line. Where that's never the case with TJ Watt, Mike. And again, I don't know. So at the end of the day, is it ultimately coaching that's bringing his career down, or is it a combination of both? He's getting a little older. He's, not the young player that he once was, Mike, and, injuries and other reasons to stop play over the years. It's just at some point you're going to have to say, maybe you want to have younger players on your team. Again, trying to bring that average age of your team down, I would think, Mike. And again, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money that's tied up with him.
A ton of money, and with the production really not being there to match it. And even if they move him around, is he going to want to continue to do it? That's what we heard last year. He's going to move around, but they only did it for so long, and then he went right back to his same spot. He just kept lining up in the same spot. Everyone knew where he was coming from. So, they tried early in the season, then all of a sudden he's back there. Was it him giving pushback, saying, I don't want to do this? Or is it just the coaches going, you know what, it's not working the way we thought it would. Let's put you back over here. They just got to figure something out with him, because it's not working. You're not getting the bang for the buck anymore.
Let's move along. Mike, there's a lot going on the board. Let me catch up a little bit. Jamal laughed my ass off. Yes, still showing his true colors. John, the Steeler Freak, said I listened to a podcast during a digital exam and provided chat comments during the process. Still loyal. I'm an extreme podcast listener. I'm gonna turn it into a sport. Dude says Metcalf didn't earn his money. I mean, in ways I agree and in ways I disagree. Just because, again, I mean, he was really the only weapon at the wide receiver position. So again, if people cover you accordingly, then you're not going to be as successful. So again, let's open up the field a little bit this year. Let's give two other possible weapons running around in the secondary. Let's see how DK does this year. But again, very underwhelming. We knew he drops passes. We knew that going in. I think the icing on the cake for everybody is when he went over and punched a fan.
Yeah.
Which could have totally gone without that. So again, at the end of the day, I'm kind of mixed. I'm kind of torn, but I'm willing to wait it out and see how this year goes with the differences that are going to be made. So Tortilla, the PPL Professional Podcast League, is what Tortilla is saying. Ty says facts. John, I don't know how DK got $33 million. Hope he earns it this year. Tortilla says, I just got drafted to the California Cucks. Congratulations, Tortilla. We always knew you would land on the Cucks.
We knew it was, set in stone.
Let's go here to Cody. Cody says DK got $33 million because of Omar Khan. Steeler Freak John. John says, loyal. I'm weeding out the ones with fake live on the cover, fake clickbait comments like QB news or quarterback advertising. Betting knowing that is a sickness. Let's do Scoot here to Steeler Freak also. He says fucking fake Steelers AI podcasts or more and more too. Defensive Rookie of the Year is the stapler guy in the office, is in Office Space. Mark Malone, face of the franchise, man. That could be it. Of course, I think he's talking about right there.
Boom, right there, baby.
Nothing says your franchise is going good when like that face being the face of it.
Hey, man. That's going to give us Super Bowl 7, baby.
John Steeler Freak says it took $33 million to get Metcalf to sign. Let's go. What's up, Somber? Great seeing Somber on a terrible board. Ty says Steelers had a visit with Bernard today. John says this. Did I hear there's a defensive back named Clitoris?
Oh, we got to draft him. Just do it on the name alone.
Well, I mean, Mark Malone will fight for that tooth and nail if he knows. That's going to be his guy. Dude says, what do you guys consider a commendable season for a wide receiver? Hey, it depends on the position and the receiver.
In the offense, in the team.
There's a lot that goes into that question. Again, if he's wide receiver 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if the team is a good passing team, there's a lot that goes into that question. So again, it just really depends. Cody says one that could catch the ball. Ty says agree with Mike. Graham gets 90 back. I mean, I hope you're right. I mean, that sounds great. But we don't know. We'll see. Let's go to Dude. Dude says the money is clouding your opinion about what? Just checked head-to-head stats. So I understand what you're saying, and I'm going to go on to your next comment just to prove my point. Dude says it's like one bad year. Damn it. Still love you guys. Well, go back a little further. Let's go back to the last 5 games of the year, previous year, when the Steelers went 0-5 to finish out the year. Watt was putting up nothing burgers for consecutive games when we needed them most. Again, and then also where Myles Garrett is now, he's still pushing and striving. Of course, breaking the record last year. At this point, where TJ is slowed down considerably, whether it be by injury, whether it be by this, whether it be by that. I mean, I understand the head-to-head statistics, but at the end of the day, when you're watching the game, I'm a little bit more worried about a Myles Garrett. Listen, I'm not saying that TJ Watt is shit now. I'm not saying his career's done. But at some point, you got to say, you know what? We got more production from his backup in Herbig. We got better numbers from him, yet we're giving the guy that's not getting the better numbers top money. And again, that's kind of limiting in other positions that we could have used that money. So at the end of the day, I just like to see a little bit more from him this year. Yep. Again, Mike, it goes down to that 5 games they lost in a row. At the end of the year that they lost to the Ravens in the playoffs. And then this year down the stretch, again, yes, he has no power if somebody dry needles him in the lung. But at the end of the day, when we needed him, he wasn't there. He wasn't available.
Yeah, and, he's the one who wanted to do that procedure. And he's the one who brought the person in to do the procedure. Right. The blame all goes back onto him. And in the biggest games, Watt is typically not there in the biggest games. The production doesn't show up. I hate harping on his playoff performances, but they have been well below what should be expected of an all-time great, as people like to call him. And I hold him to that standard. Like, I'm not just going to lower expectations because, he's so good and he's getting chipped. You find ways to do this. You find ways to beat double teams. You find ways to be a force and an impact every game. And these last few years, he has not done that consistently. And, he should be called out for it. He should be held accountable for it. We hold, my God, the fans were ready to run, Dan Moore Jr. out of town because he was a bad left tackle, but he was like a 4th round pick. TJ Watt does nothing in a handful of games that we need him to do something. And it's, oh man, what can he do? What can he do? So it's all about the expectations. If we have high expectations for him, he should be held to that standard and, judged accordingly. And he has not met those standards in the last 2 years.
Dude is saying the 5 games in a row were schemed. But what about last year where the backup exceeded his numbers? And again, the backup's on a rookie contract. And the guy that's getting paid quarterback one money gets outperformed by that guy. So again, I mean, it's
getting 0 tackles.
It's not just one particular. There's a handful of things that you could really look back to, and again, I mean, it could really go either way. If he's here, I'm fine with it. If he goes, I'm fine with it. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to fight to keep TJ anymore. 5 years ago would have been a different story for me. But you could kind of see the writing on the wall. Is he still going to get punch outs at the end of a game, maybe help you win? Yeah. But again, there's still a lot of things that he's been exposed. Run at him, by all means. Yeah. Most teams found out that you could run right at him. So you got a guy that's getting paid quarterback one money that's getting ran over in the run game. Okay, well, he's a pass rusher. Okay, so I'm giving a part-time guy quarterback one money. So again, I'm indifferent with him at the end, and I get what you're saying with the coaching. So we'll see. If he doesn't have a great year this year, then maybe we'll have this conversation next year under new coaching. We'll see if they can fix it. But let's do Scoot on the board. Listen. I don't totally disagree with you. I'm just indifferent at this point. I could do with or without him.
Yeah,
because we're getting his results for less money from another guy. That's why I'm okay with it. And he hasn't done. I mean, come on.
We haven't won with him.
When was the last time? He had one of his amazing end of the game punch outs? I don't remember seeing him last year. It really seems like we're kind of on that side of the career of TJ Watt. If we don't get it this year, I just don't know how much more time I would put into him. That's just me personally, though, dude. Let's get back on the board. Lots of things going on. I don't want to leave anybody out, and I still love you too, brother. You know that. Let's go right here. Steeler Freak says, who can take the top off in the wide receiver room right now? Is there a guy already? If not, they need a sprinter who doesn't bitch doing wind sprints. Do they have a route runner? Do they have sure hands guy? Brandon, I do want to say what's up to Brandon. Welcome to Brandon up on the terrible board. He says, not sure why we even signed Dowdle either. Let's go right here to Cody. Cody says, if you would bring back one player right now between Eric Ebron and D'Angelo Williams, I would bring back D'Angelo Williams. If that was me, Mike, Eric Ebron or D'Angelo Williams?
Oh, back in the day, give me a D'Angelo Williams.
Yeah.
All day, every day.
Eric Ebron. He was kind of Jonnu Smith-ish to me.
Yeah.
I really expected a lot more from Eric Ebron.
Me too. But yeah. Definitely, but yeah, D'Angelo Williams, my God, him and Lev Bell were a great deal. And when Lev Bell was suspended, he stepped up big time.
Tortilla, Watt has the most chips in the league. Well, no wonder his declining layoff the Doritos, bro. Brandon says this. I guess Caleb Johnson is just really bad. Nobody knows. They shut him down, and again, for who knows what reason last year. There was obviously the blunder in week 2. I would think a blunder in week 2 wouldn't result to the following 15 weeks of being pushed back. But you know what? It's hard to say. That's a good point, Brandon. We don't know what's quite going on with Caleb either. 007, always great seeing 007 on the board. TJ comes off the ends because that's how Tomlin was running the defense. And it wasn't tricking anybody. Ever since he broke the record, I got to be honest with you, TJ hasn't looked like the same guy. 007 says that's coaching. When has Tomlin run any blitzes right down the middle? Never. What's the point of running 3-4 defense and not have the element of surprise? I couldn't agree with you more. Cody says James Washington or Martavius Bryant. That's a big Martavius Bryant for me.
Oh, big time. Big time. Dude was he was George Pickens before George Pickens.
He was a baller.
Yeah.
And James Washington was just never did it for me. He was real robotic in his movements, kind of like Deontay Johnson.
He dropped the ball a ton, like way more than Deontay. Man, I thought there would have been something there with him. He would have been a guy who could have taken the top off the defense, but he just never panned out.
Tyrone says, I stamped that 007. I've said it for years. Tomlin's scheme was old and not the same. Same with his coaching hires. Ty follows it up by saying, well, this year will be the 42 cap hit, so this year he got to step up. Agree. Clitoris, Mark Malone is saying. He's like, I have to get that jersey right now. Who is this? Where's he out of? Somber says Cody has been spamming that Clint Torres joke for a week. You're the first to read it out loud. LOL. Let's go to Mark Malone. He says, we're going to need all those guys. I'm telling you, Sawyer included. Ty agreed. Also, let's go right here. Mark Malone. He's a no good lunger. A no good lunger. Lunger. Cody says this. TJ Watt doesn't even play in playoff games. And we did get this one before from Dude. The 5 games in a row were schemed that way. Cody says, we'll make the playoffs all the time. TJ played like 2 playoff games his career, and we got blown out by 40 in both of those games. John says, you give Metcalf the benefit for his being double teamed.
Well, TJ Watt lines up against Cam Hayward, who draws double teams. He has Alex Highsmith on the other side, who's a really good pass rusher. So, yeah, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because he has no talent around him. It's all about the context.
Yeah, and that's absolutely.
It's just it's a different thing. Like when you're the only guy out there that teams have the game plan for, you're going to have to fight through more than a guy that, we got Cam Hayward, who's an all-pro. We got Alex Highsmith, who's a really good, pass rusher.
I just want to know, did Derek Metcalf, is he getting shut down by rookie corners? Because again, I Mike throughout the season, I can remember two specifically were 2 offensive rookies, right tackle rookies stopped TJ. They just stopped them. And again, how many rookie corners were stopping DK on the regular?
Yeah, in DK this year, like his numbers better improve just based off the fact that now we have a viable weapon across from him. We have a new offense that's going to be using him in different situations now. So his production has to go up. And his production from Seattle to Pittsburgh really didn't change a whole hell of a lot. He's been the consistent player his entire career. Watt has ups and downs.
Somber also, if TJ is taking up 2 or 3 offensive players a play, see that's.
He's not. The film, like you can pull a PFF stat saying, he's getting
and that's
chipped.
the thing about every single week. Every single week they say this, and you're watching the game, and I'm not seeing it. They're telling us.
Yeah, like it happens occasionally. It happens early in games.
But Mike, you're exactly. I'm watching him get single-handedly handled off of a right tackle all game long. They're saying, well, he gets chipped and he gets double teamed. So I'm watching, and there's a chip. He's not getting double teamed at the end of the first quarter. He hasn't got double teamed yet. Into the second quarter, they're not chipping him as much.
Like, there were times where like the tight end would block him, and the tackle didn't even have to move over. The tackle was able to go inside and take care of someone else because Walt was getting blown up by the person that was chipping him. You couldn't even fight through it. You're getting chipped. You have to fight through it. I just why can't we hold star players and people that we say are all-time greats to that standard? Why is that so hard? I just don't understand the cognitive dissonance when it comes to TJ Watt discourse.
Let's scoot along. Let's go to Tyler Tortilla. Says no, we don't. Let's go to Dude says the whole team has been underperforming. I agree. Let's see if again the new coaching staff can get these guys ready to play. So excited about this upcoming season. Ty says agrees. Somber Tortilla, and you change that by holding the top accountable. Still loyal. I got faith in CJ Ahu. Tortilla says can't let our best players play mid because it's hard. Playing harder. You know what? Let me read this in its entirety. It moved on me, so I lost it. Can't let our best players play mid because it's hard. Play harder or get replaced. That's exactly.
Yep.
That's the name of the sports from Pop Warner to the pros. You got to perform. If not, the guy behind you who's playing better get your job. It seemed to have worked for a long time. Christophus says this. He says if Denzel Boston or Chris Purcell in round 1 and Dominique Orange in the 4th round, I would be happy.
Oh, I love me some Dominic Orange. He's someone who has been really talked about a lot on national, like the NFL Network or ESPN. Like he's someone flying under the radar. I would love to get him. Maybe in the 3rd round he might be sitting there. I don't think he lasts in the 4th. I love Dominic Orange.
Ty says, Chris first. Okay, let's go right here. Still loyal. He says, Chris Fish, you need to dive deeper into the receiver class. LOL. Ty says this. He follows it up by saying Rochelle's trash. Still loyal. The two you just listed were as mid as hell. Mark Malone, Caleb Johnson is a modern day D'Angelo Williams. Cody, I like when the running back chips TJ and then runs 5 yards, gets the ball passed to them, and then blows the doors off the whole secondary. Tortilla, I still like Boston. Ty says I like Boston, but trade back if we're doing that. Still loyal. Boston and Pittman are the same kind of receiver. It would make no sense for us to draft him.
The thing is that like Mike or McCarthy likes receivers who can do can line up anywhere. He likes the similar style of receiver. So getting like a Boston would make sense for them. And then later in the draft, get someone who's a speedster to help take off for a little bit of diversity, because he likes his top 3 to be able to play in all 3 positions out there in his offense. Denzel Washington fits that mold.
Let's go to Tortilla. If possible, sure, trading back goes both ways, though kind of hard to call teams up asking them to give us picks. They weren't planning on spending. Let me go right here to Ty. Ty says Omar Cooper Jr. or Lemon, only one wide receiver. I want first round, of course, absolutely. Definitely two good receivers you'll be able to get in the first.
Oh, yeah.
Diesel, what's up? Diesel 56 year old. He says, hello, ladies. Always great seeing Diesel. Always great to see bitch lips on the board. Let's go to Tyrone. Tyrone says, agree. Mike, DK did have no weapons around him. Hope Pittman balls out. That's going to help so much.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Even when MVS was the equivalent of Mike Williams from the year before, and MVS didn't even look as good as Mike Williams did. And then the fact that we were down to we come down to Adam Thielen at the end of the year. Those are the people that's on the field that's opposite DK Metcalf. So, again, you get a more talented player like Pittman. That starts to fix itself. I think.
Yeah, I do too. It's going to be easier because teams aren't going to be able to just, concentrate on him anymore. They're going to have to start worrying about the other side of the field.
Tortilla. I'm going to skip that just for a moment because Tortilla DK has baseball bats for hands.
That's a good one.
There's a game ball in that one for sure. Steel Loyal says none. Tyrone says my problem with DK Ryan Mike is DK is not top 5 in the NFL, but getting I know
you got to pay to get guys to a team that really don't have a really good quarterback and a good track record of recently of getting production. So you got to overpay a little bit.
Cody says I think DK like the highest seventh highest player. Tortilla says we pay him $40 million because he's supposed to be able to beat double teams. Steel Loyal, yeah, he ain't top 5 paid anymore, I don't think. Not 4th, laughed my ass off. No, 4th, he's saying Ty Somber. Somber says, yep, and when it happens, the other players need to take advantage. Steeler Freak John, Tomlin never identified or developed defensive backs. The backfield was always suspect, and he was always too paranoid to risk blitzes. Ty says JSN, Chase, Lamb, Jefferson, DK. DK's 5th. Steel Loyal says Ty says exactly. Cody says nah. Steel Loyal, he's about to move way down that list after this year, though. Market got reset. Steel Loyal says Ty, love DK, but he's not even top 10. Steel Loyal, I'd give him a top 10 at his peak. Not this year, though. Not last year. I'm sorry. Tortilla, DK has baseball bats for hands. That is definitely a
game ball, baby.
That's definitely game ball. Mark Malone, put Concepcion in the slot, and if you got something serious. What about Clitoris, Mark? Got to get him in there. Cody, what if Rodgers decides he doesn't like DK or Pittman this year and Roman Wilson's them? You know what? That's Cody. That's a good point. You just don't know. We just don't know because it was out of nowhere last year. We had all these tight ends and we had young wide receivers. Let's see if Roman could break out. Let's see what these tight ends could do with Arthur Smith. And Rodgers just decides he doesn't like people and he doesn't throw to them. So who knows? You didn't have Muth because, for whatever reason, Aaron Rodgers didn't like throwing it to him. You didn't have Roman Wilson because, for whatever reason, and this was when we were with our back against the wall with personnel. So again, I hope we're wrong, Cody, but you don't know. Sommer, now I know why Lindsay doesn't come around. Let's go right here to Diesel. Diesel says, I've always loved DK. I just think whenever we get new players, they suck in our system and no quarterback. And finally, laugh my ass off. Somber facts, Mike, a couple things as we are just rounding that time of the show. A couple things I do want to get into before we do start the wrapping up process. A couple topics here, Mike. Jalen Warren, he says, I'm rocking with whoever the Steelers quarterback is. He says, I don't care. I don't care if it's Aaron Rodgers. I don't care if it's a rookie. Jalen Warren, Mike, has always been a baller. This dude, obviously, I've seen a little bit over the weekend where, he's got to be a little bummed because, again, why do people keep saying that he can't carry the load by himself, Mike? And they're not saying it, but the way they're building the team, and again, we don't know, but by bringing Rico Dowdle in, it shows that it could be very similar to how it's been over the past few years.
Yeah.
Is Jalen Warren good enough to be a starting running back in this league?
So the numbers would suggest, if you do the math and factor in or average to the amount of carries like someone like Christian McCaffrey had, he would have more yards, similar touchdowns, and similar receiving stats. But with his play style and being that short and compact and just not avoiding contact, all those extra hits, is that going to take a toll on his body? We don't know. He really hasn't had the chance to as well. So it's a big question mark if he can be that guy that can tote the rock for 20 to 25 times a game. So I just don't know, because if we haven't seen him do it, the production says theoretically he can do it.
The real ones get it done. Frank Gore got it done. The real ones do it, and they get through it. And what's their name? Chubb. I mean, he did it for most of his career until his latest injury. So, I think that he has it. I think that what you're saying, it plays into the part of the way they've been running this team, the way they've been scheming the offense using two running backs. But let's just say something happens next year and he ends up going to a different team. Does he? Does he go and he could be a starting running back and carry the load for another team, Mike? Is the way that we're using him, is it because they feel that it's needed to be used that way, or they just like having the luxury that we have of having the extra running back and going running back by committee? Does he have the skill, Mike? Could he go somewhere and be the number one guy and carry the load?
I'm not 100% sure, because just thinking back on some of the times when Najee was out for games, there are times when he would play and he played well, but there are other games when he was completely taken out of when he was the feature back. But that, on the same hand, that happens to every running back. You can be an all-time great. You're going to have games to where you're a complete non-factor. How many times have we seen Barry Sanders end up with negative rushing yards because he got stopped in the line? Emmitt Smith happened to him. Happens to everyone. But I just don't know if I know he has the will to do it, the probably the want to do it, but can his body, his running style last an entire season running balls to the walls the way he does without trying to avoid contact? I just don't know if he could. I think for a while he would on a team, but I think that the cumulative factor of all those hits might catch up to him.
A couple more. I'm going to just bounce through these last couple topics I have here. I also want to stay up on the board as well, but let me go to Ty's guy right here, Mike. JPJ's confident. He's confident that the Pro Bowls and the All-Pro honors will be coming. I couldn't agree with him more. Yep. I couldn't agree with Tyrone more. It's just a matter of time. And once he becomes known, as we said before on this show, Mike, once you kind of fall into that category, you're picked on the Pro Bowl team. Sometimes it's hard to get people out of that loop. I think once he gets in, he's going to be set for the rest of his career, Mike, probably in and out of Pro Bowl games the rest of his life. I think it's all coming for him. And as Ty is saying on the board, he's the GOAT.
It's only a matter of time.
Just a matter of time.
You would hope, but how fans are in the media are. They, there's always that one guy on the outside looking in that, you can say, look, they are literally on tape and statistically better than these guys. And I'm like, but is he, they like to have their select few that they only talk about. And right now, he's just on the outside looking in, and I think that could be a factor.
A couple more points I just want to get. Let me grab a couple messages on the board, though, to stay with it here. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to go right here. Cody, we have Pittman, DK. There we go. We have Pittman and DK and DK Rogers will probably force Pittsburgh to get MVS back. John says DK scissor hands. Mark Malone, is Derpy allowed to stay out all night? I don't know. I don't want to risk it. I don't want to know, because if I do know, that means I know too much, and hopefully it doesn't mean he's staying here. So that's a good question. I highly doubt it, though. I think Derpy needs to be supervised at all times.
He does. He definitely needs supervised.
RB says no, Boston isn't anything like Pittman. Pittman is every bit of 235, 240. Boston's 205 and is weak against press and can't create any separation. Boston is another Washington. RB says college wonder who won't produce in the NFL. Ty says no, he has to be in by the street lights, talking about Derpy. Mark Maloney says Johnson can carry and deliver the load. Steel Loyal, he says LOL. RB, I've seen 8 different scouts compare him to Pittman. Steeler Freak John says Warren would play quarterback Wildcat if necessary. Also, Steeler Freak John says only conjecture, give Warren a chance. Cody, Roman Wilson scored a touchdown on JPJ in college. I guess that would have to have been. Ty says Cody Roman has like 3 catches in the NFL. More than 3 more than JPJ. John Steeler Freak says Tomlin was a 1 running back coach until he wasn't.
Yep.
Cap, he got 3 picks. 3 more topics, Mike. The inside linebackers. Something that's kind of came and went this offseason. A lot of people talking about this Patrick Queen, and it's still not out of the question, Mike, that Patrick Queen could be playing for somebody else this season. But as of right now, Mike, our inside linebacker room looks like this. Peyton Wilson, Patrick Queen, Cole Holcomb, Malik Harrison, Carson Bruner. What do you? And again, you got to remember, Mike, there was a lot of times running the ball right down our defense's throat was a problem. Talk about the inside linebacker room.
Oh boy. There's a lot of guys there, but how many of them are legit, top end starters? But how many of them have been hindered by the lack of production up front from the defensive line, specifically the nose tackle position? With guys constantly having play after play having to fight off guards. How many of those guys have been able to run free and make plays? So it kind of goes hand in hand, but they definitely need to upgrade the linebacker room. It's Malik Harrison, he did not live up to the billing of being this big run stuffer.
That's what I'm saying, Mike. If one of these top 2 go down, Peyton Wilson or Patrick Queen, who again, a lot of people don't love this group in the inside. Who's next to stand up to be the guy? It's going to be a Malik Harrison or a Cole Holcomb. Where Cole Holcomb, he struggled to stay healthy. I mean, with the exception of last year, through pretty much all of his career. And then, as you're saying, Malik Harrison. So again, the inside linebacker room could probably use a little bit of bolstering in the draft as well, Mike. And again, maybe getting somebody in that third round, that thick third round at the middle linebacker position. Because beyond that, again, you're looking at guys who may never play a snap in the NFL once you're getting into the later rounds. I mean, look at Mark Robinson. We liked him. We liked Mark Robinson for years at backup linebacker. He just never got it, Mike. I thought the guy was a hammer. We ended up moving him eventually. But, again, at the end of the day, the inside linebacker room is something that we shouldn't overlook, especially because teams we were certainly vulnerable to where teams could really put up big running games. And it was a lot of the time right down the throat of this defense.
Big time, too. And it goes hand in hand with the nose tackle or the 2 interior tackles, however they're going to line up in the linebackers. It all goes hand in hand. So you kind of got to continue to improve that D line, and you definitely got to take a long, hard look at that inside backer position. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if they do take a backer in the third round. It's a position of need.
Ty says Roman fumbled one. He did. He fumbled there at the end of the year where he jumped. He jumped when he was getting tackled and the ball got batted out of his hand. John says Pro Bowl is like getting a prize in my lucky charm. But I think it's the recognition that I think Joey Porter deserves. Again, he hasn't let up a touchdown. He should certainly be getting recognized because they don't spare you with recognizing Cam Hayward. They'll tell you every day he's the best defensive tackle in the game, whether you believe it or not. And I just think that Joey Porter Jr. could certainly start using the recognition. He deserves it. He's put in his work. Ty, I don't know how the Harrison's still on the team. Bro got knocked out by Henry. He's just a body at this point. He's just a depth piece. And again, I'm not very thrilled with that depth piece, to be honest. Cody's saying this. All I'm saying is JPJ got scored on by someone playing right bench. Ty says this in college. He was nice. It's still he gets chance this year. It don't let the door hit you on the way out. John Steeler Freak says Derpy knows where the BDSM bars in Pittsburgh are. Bring your leather. And finally, two more. What's up? Hand John Quinn. And again, Hand John Quinn. Always great to see you back on the board. And the name, if it's confusing, it's his kids' names. I do remember that. Great seeing you, Hand John Quinn. Hand John Quinn's comment is this: closer we get, the harder teams will trade 2027 draft capital, so maybe getting extra picks in round 2 or 3. And finally, Tyrone says, Ryan, Mike, if we have to draft, or if we draft 2 wide receivers, let's say first or third, is Roman cooked? Mike, good.
I believe so. That's a sure sign that coaching staff is going to have you on a very, very, very short leash. You're going to be buried down the depth chart. Because if you get one in like the first round, one in the third, or even one in the second, one in the third, you're going to have to battle, because these guys are the new coaching staff's guys. You're the guy from the old coaching staff that barely played. You're thin ice.
What round was Roman?
He was third.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. That third round, it's so difficult to tell.
It's like a 50-50 shot, man.
It is. And again, us with 3 picks in that, and they're all in the top 100. So it's not going to be any less interesting this year. 2 more topics, Mike, and we will begin to start the wrap-up process. Hand job, Quinn. Let's go right here, Mike. 2 AFC North teams named as potential destination for Sexy Dexy, and neither of them are the Steelers. The Baltimore Ravens and Cincinnati Bengals, Mike, both right now being talked about as possibilities for a landing spot for Dexter Lawrence, of course, as he asked to be traded last week from the New York Giants. I would love to have me some Sexy Dexy on this defensive line. Mike, does he land in the AFC North? Does he even move? What happens with Sexy Dexy at the end of the day?
I hope he doesn't land in the AFC North. If he does, go to Cincinnati, because that's where you do less damage. But if he goes to the Ravens, that would be a good pickup for them. That would actually make a ton of sense for them. Plug him in the middle of that defense. I'd be pissed if he went there. But I don't know. Maybe it's trying to, work out a contract thing. But, would Harbaugh be willing to let his GM trade Sexy Dexy to the team that he just got fired from? I think, a little bit of pettiness there might hinder that.
And then you figure adding Trey Hendrickson, Mike, and Sexy Dexy. Now, I don't love the Trey Hendrickson pickup, but you add Sexy Dexy.
That makes that move better.
I couldn't agree more. So let's hope that doesn't happen. I would love to have Sexy Dexy here. Let's go to right here. Nobody knows anything. Somber says. Ty says, I think Roman will be wide receiver 5. Also, Cody, that's hilarious. Mark Malone, Roman. The Roman is going to have his work cut out from Cody. Says that is a good point. Last topic, guys, before we get into the wrap-up process of the show. This one here, guys. Don't let it rattle your cage. I just want your opinion, Mike. This next question is last topic of the day. And I know what you're going to say, because again, I just know you.
Okay,
but
let's see.
But let's get into this. Is it right that Mike Tomlin never gave a farewell press conference. I mean, he's going to be considered one of the better, he's one of the big three. He had a 20-year career, never had a losing season. Yes, some fans booed, but you know what? At the end of the day, does he owe it to the fans that were faithful, to the people that stuck up for him, to the people that loved Mike Tomlin, which there were a lot? Why was there never a farewell press conference to address Steeler Nation at the end of the day? And do you think there should have been one?
I don't know, to be honest with you, because it really doesn't bother me that he did not have a end of his career press conference.
Let's say Sidney Crosby just decides to hang it up last year and he gives no explanation, no nothing. He just says, I'm done, and we never see from him ever again. See what I'm saying? It feels like it just seems the integrity of the situation. You were here for 20 years, and yes, okay, some fans booed you in the last 2 games that you played at home here. Again, a lot of success. Of course, a lot of people are fans of his. A lot of people run to him and get his autograph. So not everyone's is going to love everybody, is what I'm saying. And just for what it is, for the integrity of the position, Mike, only 3 coaches has held it in the entire Super Bowl era. I felt that he a bit slighted is Steeler Nation, as he kind of just scurried off, and again, no words. He talked to the team, which is fine. I mean, that's a given. But again, 20 years is a long time to not give anybody a goodbye.
Yeah, and I know he did not have a great relationship with the media, so I don't know. He just didn't want to see those fools again. I respect that. And
listen, 20 years
doesn't bother me either way.
Seeing him or not, giving one. I mean, you gave a million press conferences in your time here. What's one to the Pittsburgh Steelers fan base that came and supported you for 20 years?
Yeah, but you're really not talking to the fans. You're just talking to the stooge media. So it didn't bother me either way.
No, I'm talking about a conference to address the Steeler Nation. I'm not even talking about the media. I'm talking about to address. Thank you. I've loved it here. Fans were great. Thank you for your support.
He released a statement, so that should be.
And again, I knew this would be the route you take, so I'm not going to argue. But again, I feel slighted. I feel that
that's fair.
We all owe each other a little bit more. We should owe him a little bit more respect. I mean, he stuck it out. The dude came, and at the end of the day, he never had a losing season, and that's something. Say what you want. And again, I know all the arguments, and as a matter of fact, I use all the arguments.
Yeah, right. I can argue the other side too, but
absolutely.
My ceiling is it doesn't bother me at all. It really doesn't.
I listen, because the thing is, the Steelers, it's a special franchise. It really is. And at the end of the day, I just think he owes it to Steeler Nation to just come in and say thank you. And because again, not everybody hated Mike Tomlin. Yeah. Not everybody booed Mike Tomlin. Those fans, I think, deserve a little bit, but that's just my opinion. Could have been a nice, hey, thank you guys. The ride was fun. You made me feel welcome, which a lot of people did. And so at the end of the day, I would have liked to see a farewell press conference, but that's just me personally. So at the end of the day, I got your point, guys. On the board, real quick, as we are wrapping it up, what's your take on that? Would you have liked to seen a farewell, a bye-bye press conference, which isn't a hard thing to do? You walk into a room and get in front of a microphone and talk. So again, I felt that there should have been one. That's just me. Let me grab a couple more of these messages, Mike, and we are going to get ready to head into the trivia question of the day. I'm going to start right here. Hope not. F the Ratbirds. Ty is saying Tortilla, he got booed out of town. Damn near. I don't blame him. But again, that's not fair, because there's a lot of people that loved him. There's a lot of people that didn't want him to go. I mean, the people that booed him were just getting tired of losing. So, let's go to Hanjo Quinn says this. I did have a boatload of drafts today. We were flying off the board, and everyone, maybe 2 of the drafts I did had another one other than Concepcion available at number 1, a lot of loan available at 1 for sure. And I think a lot of people are thinking that that's the route we're going to go, is that position, that guard position. Let's go to Cody. He says he don't want anything. He don't owe us anything. The same way no one of us cares that he's gone. I do. I think people do. That's the thing. I mean, we could make a general umbrella statement and say nobody liked him and everyone booed him, but that's not the case. A lot of people liked him and not everyone booed him. But again, I just think it's an integrity thing. And I think with the organization like the Steelers, I'm surprised that wasn't made a point. Let's go to Ty. I don't think he will, to be honest. I think like whatever with the fan base after the boot, to be honest. Well, how about all the times we cheered him for the first 19 years? How about the times we cheered him for the last 10 when things weren't getting done? Again, there's give and take. Fan base to be boo. I mean, step down next game after the Texans game. Mark Malone, in my mind, he was no longer employed. No pressure needed. 007, I think Tomlin felt the heat. He knew the fans were ready to run him out the town. I mean, look what happened to Canada. He was next. Well, I mean, it was justifiable. 10 years of the same nothingness. At some point you had to see the writing on the wall, I would think. Somber, he doesn't give a F about Steeler Nation. They booed him at home. So all the years of cheering, that didn't mean anything. Getting booed one game when giving up 250 yards on the ground is enough for you to just turn your back on Steeler Nation and say, F you. I don't agree. Ty says, like I said, love Tomlin for everything he has done. It was time. And I agree with that 100%. Cody says, after getting blown out by 30-plus points in the first round of the playoffs for the 6th time in a row, he just wanted to bounce back and not – just wanted to bounce and not look back. I mean, what if we just decided we wanted to bounce and not go to games and pay our money anymore and put money into the system and they couldn't make all this money? See what I'm saying? There's give and take. It was so hard that he couldn't just say, hey, guys, thank you, bye. Tortilla says, I think he knew most of us didn't really want to see him after the Houston game, and I love Tomlin, but there wasn't much to say. He did give a quick speech, but after 20 years, though, there wasn't enough to say. Yes, I mean, the last year wasn't good. What about the good times? Somber, don't care personally. Glad he's happy with his family. Absolutely, me too. Tortilla, love Tomlin. I'll defend him forever, but I didn't want to see him after that game. Tortilla, seeing him happy with the family is good enough for me an ending. But again, that does nothing for the Steeler Nation. People put up, the people that didn't like him, they felt that they put up with him for all these years. So again, there's a lot of give and take. Ty says, facts, wish Tomlin the best with family. Hope he takes a year off. He could coach again. That would be awesome. Dude, I was done 3 years ago. At one point, he was great. Let's go right here to Steeler Freak John. The Billboard said that fire Tomlin was much. The press and media fans let him know how they felt. I think he felt wronged. His son thinks his father was wrong for sure. Let it go. Ty says it's hand in hand for real. It's not just last year. It's been on the hot seat for years. Let's go right here to 00 or Cody. Cody says all Tomlin's good teams was the Ben Roethlisberger was on the team. That's true. It's true. Ben certainly helped out Coach T. No two ways about that. 007, I was done with Coach T after the problems with the Killer Bees. After that, I was hoping they would not re-sign him. Rehashing Tomlin now is not fruitful. Somber says, right. Well, Cody. At the end of the day, I don't know. I would have liked to seen a little some closure, which I don't think is a bad thing to want. A little closure. You've only been our coach for 20 years. A little closure I don't think would have hurt. Just my opinion. Mike, why don't you tell everybody about the website?
Head on over to the2dumyinzers.com. Check it out, everyone. Got all of our social media links over there. We got the links to the merch store. And but most importantly, we got all of our NFL mock draft stuff over there. All of our columns and stuff. Check it out. RB has a new one up today. It was a very interesting mock draft. He has provided an explanation for every draft pick. It is very informative. So check it out at the2dumyinzers.com.
Ty says, I would like to see one agree with Ryan, but don't lose sleep over it. And again, let's say he came here and we screwed him. I could see you not want to give a closure statement. Bro, you came here and made hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't know how much you made, but you know, at the end of the day, everybody's going to kind of been happy. You had a great career. The end wasn't good. Guess what? Every person loses their job. The end is never good. You can work somewhere for 25 years, but the day you lose your job, that's never good. I'm saying the big picture to me is the deal. But let's just move on, guys. Dude, go check out the website. As Mike says, he says this. www.d2dumyinzers.com has all kind of stuff over there. There is articles from Chop. There's articles by RB and Mike and the Mock Monday over at the website, guys. Go check out www.d2dumyinzers.com. Go check it out.
Check it out.
John says Mike has 40 million reasons not to be too upset. Exactly. Plus, he's going to get more deals. Yeah. And again, we'll just drop that. Christopher says this. Let's get to the trivia, guys. Steeler Freak says, I always know the stat Ryan is going to ask for. Guys, let's get into it, as this is trivia time, and we're going to stay on. We're going to stay on the draft trivia. That's not going to change, Mike. And I got to be honest with you, there's only so much information about the draft.
I know,
We've been
right?
doing draft trivia for about a month now, and this is not any easier to come up with trivia questions every day. But guys, we're going to do it. I promise you, we're going to get there. Just 10 days left until the NFL draft. Guys, here we go. Question of the day. Mike, put on your thinking caps. Everybody at home and on the board, get your thinking caps on. Here we go. Question of the day. How many of the 29 Steeler Hall of Famers were drafted by the Steelers? How many of the 29 Steeler Hall of Fame members were actually drafted by the Steelers? Take a minute to think that over. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. every day right here on the Tube.
On Tube.
Again, guys, the question of the day. How many of the 29 Steeler Hall of Fame members were actually drafted by the Steelers? You may know it, you may not. If you don't know, throw your guesses up there. I see Tortilla saying 18 on the board. I'm seeing Tyrone is saying 15 on the board. Mike, what's your thought process here? Let me ask one more time. How many of the 29 Steeler Hall of Fame members were actually drafted by the Steelers?
Well, Jerome Bettis was not drafted by the Steelers. Donnie Shell technically was not drafted by the Steelers. He was an undrafted free agent. So that takes us down to what, 27? There's got to be some old guy back in the day. Like Ernie Stautner. Was he drafted by the Steelers?
Bunch of different guesses. I'm seeing.
I think Christopher's might be the closest so far on
25. John is saying 13. Double O is saying 14. Ty is 15. Cody's Red Fox.
Fish eye fool.
Fish eye fool. So you're leaning towards the Chris is in his 20s. Okay, so like at the end of the day, how many of the 29 Steeler Hall of Famers were actually drafted by the Steelers?
I'm gonna go with 26.
26. And is this your final answer?
Final answer.
All right, I'm gonna lock you in on the 26. You were locked into place, Mike. There you go. Somber again with the 69-420. That is always the right answer, Somber. You know this. John says Bob Marley. Dick Shiner, a Hall of Famer. Mark Malone says, John, no offense, fellas, but your roundup intro like a country goodbye. I'm not even sure what that means.
Not even sure what that means.
Cody says, Big Ben, the only reason Tomlin lasted in Pittsburgh so long, you've seen what it was like without a franchise guy. I mean, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you see how it got rough when the franchise quarterback was done. You know, so again, it's tough. It's tough. Right here, let me get Cody the hamster. I guess the number would be 22. Hand John says. Clint Torres, how stupid Jamal says. Guys, again, the question of the day. How many of the 29 Steeler Hall of Famers were drafted by the Steelers? Were actually drafted. A lot of different answers on the board. Mike, you said 26? 24.
Yeah.
26. All right. Mike T to goat. Jamal is saying, guys, here we go. Question of the day. How many of the Steelers' 29 Hall of Fame members were actually drafted by the Steelers? Mike says 26. A lot of different answers on the board. The correct answer, 16.
Ooh, wow.
16 of the 29 Steeler Hall of Famers were actually drafted by the Steelers. So there you go, guys. 16 of 29 actually drafted. Mike, the Pirates, again, at it today. They start a 4-game set against the Washington Nationals. That is a 6:40 game. Paul Skeens on the hill today. Mitch Keller tomorrow. Carmen Majitsky on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, that would mean it is Braxton Ashcraft. So Washington comes in, Mike, not looking that good. Second to last in their division. Hopefully the Pirates could continue to win and keep moving and keeping that first place, as they are sitting in first place right now. Mike, the Pittsburgh Pirates with the third best record in all of baseball, and a better record than everybody in the American League. So do what you want with that. Penguins will wrap up their season. When do they wrap that up? Like tomorrow, 9:30. Yep. And then after that, it's playoffs. So Penguins is coming right around the corner, the playoffs. Mike, just hoping that they don't play while the draft is in town, but it's very possible.
I hope they do. I want the chaos.
Very, very possible. And what else? We do have the Riverhounds. I'm sorry, not the Riverhounds, but the Passion, Mike. They'll be starting in a few weeks. The Riveters starting in a few weeks. A lot going on here in Pittsburgh, but nothing more important than the NFL draft in just 10 days here in Pittsburgh, PA, guys. Let's get a few more of these messages in here as we do get ready to wrap it up. Let's go to Ty says, I know Jamal heartbroken. Ty says, fuck, I was close. 007, how many shit picks during the Tomlin tenure? Wayne Soo Young, Cody, Ashcraft, Wowzers, Somber, dude, it takes quite a while. Mike, what's your thoughts on today's show?
Awesome show, great show. Good to talk about TJ Watt. It's always fun, hearing the banter back and forth about what we should and shouldn't do with TJ Watt. But, again, I'm on board of saying we trade him if we can. Maybe if we can get a draft pick for him this year or next year, you go ahead and do it. But other than that, man, a great show.
All right. Let me see. John Quinn says there will be a few more shortly. Ty says, we're going to keep moving on me. Good show, you bastards. A lot of debate today. Absolutely, Ty. Again, we'll be back tomorrow again to do it all over. We got, again, Pirates tonight. Talking about that a little bit tomorrow, but Mike, will be in the single digits tomorrow when we come back for the draft. It'll just be 9 days. So it's really coming up fast. I got to get it with all these guys. All the guys on the show, they're making me nuts. They're making me nuts trying to figure this out. I mean, all day with Derpy on Saturday, it was just, one idea. And then once you think you get something accomplished, he comes up with a whole new problem. I'm ready to kill him. Clint Torrey's school, somber blast from the past episode. McAfee show sucks. Welcome to the show. Somber, feel like we time jumped back 3 months. And John Quincy, they will not be able to pay Herbig unless one of them. Absolutely. Yeah, you're 100% right. John says, Steeler Freak says Beaver University. Cody says, Hand John Quinn, Wayne Soo Young on the board as well. And there we go. Couple of things before we do get ready to wrap it up. Like, a lot of sports going on right here in Pittsburgh. I do want to say this: if you are getting ready for sports and beer go hand in hand. And if you are getting ready to do anything, heading down to the draft, enjoying a Pirate game in the evenings, do make sure to stop and get yourself some Duquesne Pilsner, guys. It is now available in John Eagle in 6-packs and 12-packs and wherever cases are sold. The people at Duquesne Pilsner, Mike, they always help us out, always giving us a hand with things promotion-wise. So we want to return the favor to them, guys. So get yourself some Duquesne Pilsner. If you're not a big beer drinker, just swing over to their social media page. Do hit the follow button. Keep what's up with them, guys. It all helps out in the end. And Mike, we always have Duquesne Pilsner on tap here at the studio, made right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And it says on the can, grab a Duke.
Grab a Duke.
Also, you can swing by and check out our social media, guys. We are all over the internet. You can check us out on Facebook, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and even TikTok. Swing by and hit the follow button. Keep keep up with what's going on with Two Dumb Yinzers on a day-to-day basis. And if you haven't had a chance yet, do hit the like button down below. Hit the like button, the sub, the share, or even leave a comment. It all helps in the algorithm, guys. We appreciate it all. Mike, your prediction. Again, I want all these teams to get out of the first round. You know why. For the bet on this show, Penguins. Do they know who they're playing yet?
I'm not 100% sure. I haven't seen anything definitive. I've been seeing it could be this team, it could be that team. So I don't know yet, to be honest with you.
All right, we'll certainly keep on top of that. These playoffs are right around the corner. They wrap up regular season tomorrow against St. Louis. So much is going on here in Pittsburgh, guys. We're here for every step of the way. We'll be back tomorrow at our regular time to get into all that stuff and so much more. Heading into the draft, guys, just 9 days away tomorrow. All single digits for the rest of the way. So we're counting down. We're counting down the days. We're counting down the hours. Mike, as always, counting down to the NFL draft.
I can't wait. It's going to be here sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. Let me grab a couple of these messages, and we are going to get ready to bounce. I'm going to go right here. Han John says, I guess Wayne and Sue are your children, Cody. No idea what young means. Help me out there. Han John says this as well. Wayne is actually my first name. And Tortilla says Batman is my first name. Guys, I do want to say thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you guys. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you to everybody on the board, as you guys always keep things interesting here on the show. You guys are the lifeblood of this show. I want to thank you, say thank you so much to everybody on the board. We wouldn't do it without you guys. You guys always doing your thing on the board, and we want to thank you. And finally, I want to say thank you to everybody at home, everybody that's watching, listening, maybe checking in from their car, at work, or at the gym, wherever you may be. Thank you too, guys. We appreciate every single one of you. We truly, honestly do. Mike, I do believe that's it. Anything else that I'm forgetting that you can think of?
Nope. Good show, everyone.
All right. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow at our regular time to do the same thing all over again. We hope to see everybody then. We hope that you have a safe day. Today, also, I'm going to grab Christopher real quick. He says, are you guys broadcasting live from the draft? We are in different ways. I think we're going to do live streams because Mike's going to be here at the studio because of his work schedule. But I do know that early on, I know that Chop's going down. I know that myself, Derpy, I know that Finch is going to try to get down just depending on the days he's available. So between, I think, RB and Mike, I think it's going to make sense for RB and Mike to do the live stream for the drafts, and then whoever we have that's going to be able to be cycled in throughout the days of it, whether it be one of the other four people. We are going to have it live, though, and just depending on what we get planned, we'll let you know the rest of the way. Still have a lot of planning to do in that area. So we will keep you up on that. Also, Somber, my man. Mike, speak now, forever hold your peace. Anything else? All right, guys, I do want to say, Mike, is there a Cinderella picture in the background of you? All right, guys, I do want to say thank you. We'll see everybody tomorrow. For RB, for Chop, for Derpy, for Finch, myself, Mike, the Two Dumb Yinzers. Everybody have a great Monday. Enjoy wrestling tonight if you watch wrestling. If not, just have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.